It is time for the Drew Yari Show. Drew Yari.
What's going on, guys? It's 8 p.m. on time. It's the first time we ever actually started exactly at 8. Crazy. And it's Wednesday, people. This is the Drew Yari Show. I am Drew Yari. And joining me, as always,
Justin from Spinebuster Tees and spinebustertees.com.
How's everything going? How's the store?
Store's good, man. Very good, very good, very good. I had one of the local wrestlers came in on Saturday to come check out the shop. We were talking a little business stuff, and everyone's excited about the shop, and giving fairly positive reviews of the shop, and yeah, man, it's been going good. So we're hitting the ground running for sure. So happy to be doing it. So we'll just see where it goes from here.
Yeah, just and anyone's listening, anyone in the San Antonio area, if you're a wrestling fan, head on over to Wonderland Mall of Americas and visit, come by, bring all your money to the Spinebuster Tees store. It has everything you could possibly want as a wrestling fan. It has Funko Pops, action figures, shirts, memorabilia. Just a lot of cool shit as a wrestling fan. If you're a wrestling nerd, if you love wrestling, this is going to be heaven. It was heaven for me when I walked into that store. I'm an atheist, so I don't believe in heaven. But if heaven did exist, that's what heaven would look like to me. So
we had another convention on Saturday, and have you seen Empire Records?
That was a movie, right?
Right. I have not seen it. I only heard of it, but it came out like in 1995. Well, anyway, the guy that played Rex Manning in the movie was there, and apparently it was like Rex Manning Day. I guess that's something like in the movie of Empire Records. So yeah, man, he was there, and funny thing is that I because I close up at 6:00. Like I forgot some stuff at home. Well, actually, no, I got some stuff that was mailed to me. Some new figures and stuff, and I just brought it back to the shop right afterwards, and they're doing like a little guest panel with the actor that played in the movie, and it was pretty cool, man. I was kind of like sitting there watching a little bit of it for about 10-15 minutes, and he was like answering like some interesting questions for sure. But yeah, man, that was pretty cool. Seeing a lot of people who really like that movie. I guess again, I haven't seen the movie before, but it seems like to have like a very rabid cult fan base.
I definitely heard of the movie. I know who's in it. The girl from, what the fuck's her name? She was in The Craft. I think she's in it. And
Liv Tyler's in the movie. Then you have Renee Zellweger. Those are probably like the two biggest actresses.
Right. That's good. Everything has a fan base. That's the cool thing about Comic-Cons, or just
that's what I'm learning.
Cons in general. Everybody has their own fan base, and if you make something people like, then there you go. You got your fans. You got your money right there. So
yeah.
But it seems like that mall has a convention like every week, or every weekend. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Pretty much every other weekend. There's like some type of con there, so yeah, man. It's been pretty cool. Been pretty cool seeing all the other different shops there and just different fans coming in. And then we're having another convention this weekend as well. We've been heavy on the convention. So, have you remember the TV show Chips back in the day?
Yes.
So Eric Estrada is going to be there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So. Puncharello, but him also, the guy that played in Short Circuit, the one that played Data,
yeah,
a robot. So the voice of him, he's gonna be there. Who else is supposed to be there? I guess I don't know if you remember the TV show Jim. It was a cartoon back in the day.
Yeah.
So like so the actress that played Jim is gonna be there, and Miss Julie Brown, an MTV VJ from back in the day, which
Downtown Julie Brown.
Not downtown Julie Brown. I wish it was downtown Julie Brown, but it's it's Miss Julie Brown. So yeah, but anyway, but yeah, man, yeah, it's pretty, could be another busy weekend, which is good. So,
and then this weekend's the NBA playoffs.
Yes, the playing games are happening right now as we speak.
What's your opinion on the play-in? I don't know if I asked you about that, but what do you think about the play-in thing for the NBA?
I like it. It gives it gives like the teams like who fought to come back to the to the like that 10th, 9th seed, right? You may have a start to a bad season due to like injury or something like that, and it gives you an opportunity to get into the playoffs. And I think it's fair for the most part. The seventh and 8th seeds get 2 chances essentially. The 9th and 10th seed has to win both games in order to get into the playoffs. I think it's very interesting for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it works, but it can also maybe be kind of a detriment. And I say that because it's like, what happens when a team that has a lower seed takes like the 7 or 8 spot from somebody that had a better seed. You know what I mean? Because right. I mean, you're right. But it's just like the difference between the NFL and in the NBA. It's just the NFL only does like 1 game in each playoff series, where the NBA it's like you got to be that good to beat us in a 7-game series. And I mean, in the case for the play-ins, it's the play-ins are essentially the wild card and that the NFL has.
Right.
And for the NBA, it's like one team can just get hot and have a really good game. The other team can play like shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it can work, but it can also maybe be, I don't know, detrimental. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
So, as far as like this year's playoffs, who do you got winning the chip?
Out of the East, it's kind of hard for me, but it's either between Milwaukee or Philly. I'm probably gonna go with Milwaukee. Then out of the West, I think Phoenix has the best chance out of the West because the Grizzlies, they are injured right now at the wrong time. So like not with their star players or anything like that, but if you lose Steven Adams, like that's defense, and you're gonna need a lot of defense and a lot of physicality down low, which they don't have. I don't believe in Denver. I just don't like. To me, they're more like a regular season team. I don't really see them getting to the finals. They make it to the Western Conference Finals if they beat Phoenix, because they got to beat Phoenix to get there. You know what I mean? But outside of that, though, I think it's probably gonna be Phoenix and Milwaukee, and I'm gonna go with Phoenix to win it.
So last night the Lakers beat the Timberwolves, even though the Timberwolves had a fucking 15-point lead in a pretty crazy game, because like LeBron finds Schroeder in the corner for a 3, and then fucking Davis fouls Connolly on a 3-pointer. I'm like, oh shit. That
was so stupid.
Even LeBron called him out on live team. He's like, I apologize for my teammate for having a brain fart, and Anthony Davis is like, yeah, my bad. I mean, they still won, but I can see, like you just said, Memphis is injured at the wrong time. I can see the Lakers beating him in the first round. And then you got Golden State and Sacramento, which Sacramento is a team that nobody saw coming, playing this good.
I'll say this, and I said this last year to a few buddies of mine. I said that Sabonis trade is more. Like, it's more pivotal than people realize.
Right.
I didn't think they were going to be the 3rd seed. I just thought they were going to make the playoffs. But they're showing that they can score, but I just don't know if they have the defense. Now, I will say this. If they get past Golden State, the gates are open. Right. Because if they end up playing Memphis can't outscore Sacramento. But again, Sacramento's a young team. A lot of these guys haven't been there before. So it'll be interesting. I kind of want to see that 2-3 seed matchup between Memphis and Sacramento, because it's going to be one fresh new team in the conference finals that we haven't seen in a while. So that's what I'm hoping. But again, I still think like a veteran team like the Suns is probably still going to get to the finals regardless, no matter who they face.
Right. I mean, because
with the exception of the Lakers, that'll be interesting series, because you can't count LeBron and Anthony Davis out if they get that far in the playoffs. So,
right. I mean, the Suns and the Lakers seems like a ratings, gold mine for the NBA. So, I mean, personally, I don't want to see that, because just like I'd rather see more fresher matchups than LeBron, Kevin Durant all the time. But it's like, it'd be an interesting series, because they're on different teams. So we'll see how that happens. And like the Suns have, obviously been playing like 1,000 times better with Kevin Durant. And then when he went down for that short amount of time, that's when they started to kind of play a little bit more average to mediocre. So for the Suns, it's championship or bust. If they can't win this year with Kevin Durant, then, maybe next year, but it's like they need it this year. And as far as like Denver goes, kind of like you said, I'm not sold on Denver. Denver, like you said, seems more like a regular season team rather than a playoff team. Mm-hmm. Memphis, just there's not a lot of buzz coming out of Memphis. Sacramento, I'd like to see them do something. I would love to see them beat Golden State. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they lost to Golden State, because Golden State's the defending champs, and as far as I know, they still have all their stars. But I think who's ever winning is coming out east. I mean, I think Milwaukee or Boston. Those are one of my choices. What's the third one? Oh, it's Jeff Hardy. The Sixers. The Sixers.
Wait, you think it's Jeff Hardy?
I mean, we'll talk about that in a bit. But it's just like.
I'm not. It's not even. I'm not even to that point yet.
Oh shit! So I'm ahead of you.
You're pretty ahead of me, bro.
Oh, sorry about that. But with the Sixers, I'm kind of hot and cold.
Okay, there's Jeff. Okay, sorry.
Like, Joel Embiid is fucking great. Like, he's the leading scorer in the league, and he might even win MVP. But to me, it's always one of those things of like, the Sixers have a really good season, and then they'll play well in the playoffs. They'll play well enough, but when it comes to a big game, like a big series, Joel either gets hurt or he, like, I don't know, something's wrong with his body and he can't play long enough. So I don't know. I don't trust the process as well as other people would. But that's kind of my takeaway from the playoffs this year. And I think the Knicks and the Cavs are going to be a really entertaining series.
Yeah.
Yeah, EW's on, and I kind of spoiled it for Justin here that Jeff Hardy is now back. I mean, it was already talked about that he was backstage, and I'll just make this short and sweet about Jeff. Like, Jeff is one of my favorites. He's always been one of my favorites. Ooh, that's a nasty gash. He is in my top 5 of like my favorite wrestlers of all time. But Jeff is also like in his mid-40s. And I don't want to see Jeff, I said it before, I don't want to see Jeff doing spots anymore or like stunts, because it's like it's kind of difficult to watch, and it's painful. It's also kind of cringy. And I honestly don't want to see him wrestle anymore. Like, I'd rather just see him just do a fucking take an office job, like be a coach, be an agent, be something. Like, I don't want to see him wrestle. That's just
do you trust Jeff Hardy to be that consistently, though?
Consistently, what do you mean?
Being like an agent and being a dependable agent?
I mean, to me, it's just...
Because I don't see that at all. It's kind of like... if he can't keep himself clean as a wrestler, you have more, even more responsibility as an agent, because you gotta set the example. You know what I mean?
I mean, because the whole thing with his addictions was, he was taking painkillers and he was doing other drugs to kind of numb his body from the pain. And then he stopped doing drugs and he started drinking more to help with the pain. And now he supposedly is clean, which, good. Hopefully he stays clean. But I would think having an office job maybe would be less stressful, but I digress. I work in an office and that's stressful, so maybe that's not a good job. But I don't know. I just, hopefully Jeff can stay clean. And, we've said that over 1,000 times. So we'll see how this works out. And then Kenny Omega's doing a vignette. But we got a lot to talk about in tonight's show, so I don't know what to get into. Let's see. Vince's...
You talking about AEW?
Well, no, I was talking about the topics I had. The article.
Oh, okay. You said tonight's show. I thought you were talking about AEW.
I mean, we could talk about AEW. It's on. But
no. I was just confused. That's my bad.
No, don't worry about it. Let's see. So I have Vince McMahon's new contract stipulations. Logan Paul signing back with WWE. Lists of producers that were on Monday Night Raw. Vice announcing Dark Side of the Ring. Rey Mysterio's interview on Logan Paul's podcast. Bandito. Eva Marie. Kurt Angle talking about wrestling. Drew McIntyre. Yeah. The Drew McIntyre news. I have a lot. I'm sorry. Bret Hart talking about today's wrestling. And then Rey Mysterio and Conan talking about advice they gave to, who is it? El Vikingo?
The Vikingo, yeah.
And then more Bret Hart stuff. So I don't. Of all that stuff, what do you want to get into?
Pick your poison. I'm down with whatever.
I mean, what sounds more interesting to start off? If you had to pick anything, what would be more interesting to start with?
I mean, you went to 25 topics, so I kind of. I mean, just start with the first one that you have listed on your thing.
Okay, so El Vikingo, El Hijo del Vikingo. I hope I said that right. Recently on Keeping It 100, which is Conan's podcast he does with Disco Inferno and a few other people, recall telling the current AAA mega champion that he needs to slow it down during his matches. And it wasn't just Conan who gave him this advice. The AA Booker also revealed that he told Rey Mysterio to have the same talk with El Vikingo, which the WWE Hall of Famer definitely did. Conan said, "Not only have I told him, I had Rey tell him. He already needs a knee operation, and Rey's had 14. So I told him to talk to Rey, and Rey's giving him very good advice, because I want the guy to last. He's talented, and he's a good kid." Thoughts on this?
I mean, he's still young, so I understand what they're saying, but they have to realize that he was doing this A to try to be different, but also B, this is how he gets his exposure. Because if he wasn't doing this, then he wouldn't have not been on AEW TV. It wouldn't be who, right? So no one can ever say again, to Vikingo, if he's on AEW, who? He can't, he won't get that anymore. So I get what they're saying, and he should slow down eventually. I think what it is that he needs to limit his moves, his spots, to bigger situations, not every single match. Exactly. The match he had with Kenny Omega, that's totally fine, because that is your very first big exposure to the U.S. audience. So throw everything in the kitchen, including the sink, right? So that's totally cool. You know what I mean? And also as well, whenever you have a big match in AAA, right? But just your run-of-the-mill regular matches, you don't need to do your your springboard, 630 through a table. That's not necessary, right? You can still do your regular stuff though. You can still do your moonsaults, your dives, and things of that nature. Because guess what? That's what guys like, Ricochet do anyway every day on television, right? So you can still do your regular dives and stuff, but like your crazy stuff, your crazy moves, the more high risk moves, kind of tone it down a little bit. Kind of tone it down just a little bit and save it for situations that make sense. Don't just do it just to do it. But I was totally fine with him doing it on his AEW debut, 100%. That's totally cool. I get what Conan and Rey Mysterio say, but at the same time, if he's in a situation to give himself more exposure, right? By all means, do it for sure. Well, I mean, you need to pick and choose the spots on when to do it.
I mean, I think that's kind of where they're coming from too. It's like for a guy like Rey Mysterio, he totally gets that. I mean, because that's how he got noticed. He got noticed, on his first match on fucking WCW television on a pay-per-view by doing, really crazy and just insane moves to the point where Macho Man and Sting and Lex Luger were in the back end of a standing ovation. They were impressed by that. So I get that. I get wanting to get noticed, but like you just said, you hit the nail on the head. Those kind of big moves and big spots should be for matches that actually matter. The match against Omega, wasn't my cup of tea. I mean, I did say it was entertaining, it was fun, but wasn't my cup of tea personally. But I get why he needed to, break out, the fancy, looking moves. But if it's I'm fucking up his name. I'll just call him Vikingo. If it's Vikingo versus Trent, I'll just random ass name. You don't need to do any of those fancy spots for a match like that. Big time opponents, big time, matches, call for big time moves. That makes sense. But and how old is this? How old is he, Vikingo?
I think he's 24, I want to say.
Yeah, it's he has his whole career.
He's very young.
Right, he has his whole career ahead of him. So, right, get noticed, and once you get noticed, just it's like Cornette said, not every match needs to be the main event of WrestleMania. Just let the people be happy that you're there. So
he's 25 years old.
Right. So, Conan and Ray, I think their heart's in the right place when they say, slow it down. Don't do enough, but don't do too much to where you're going to need, 14 surgeries, by the time you're Ray's age. You know what I mean? So, I think they're right on that. Another Rey Mysterio topic. So Rey Mysterio was on Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive, and told a story about how he overcame his addiction to painkillers. Ray said, "So during my big run in WWE and after so many surgeries, I got hooked on painkillers for a very long time. My wife caught me one time. We were on vacation. She saw that I was just out of it completely, and she gave it an ultimatum. She goes, so when you get back home, you can either take your pills or you can take your family. You choose. That really opened me up, and it made me a stronger person because I remember getting back home to San Diego. I flew to TV, and the next day I spoke to Vince. I told him, boss, I need to check myself in. I need to take some time off. He was cool with it. He was like, it takes a fucking man to man up to what you're doing. That was a big life changer for me and a different perspective of life and the appreciation of family and the support of my wife. It's crazy. She's been there from day one. She went to my first match. It was bad. And to be able to recognize it and check yourself in and put everything aside and move on with your life to a positive note, it was crazy. I really enjoyed that phase of my life because I learned so much of what not to do. I was there for 30 days. I haven't told that story before. Another thing that was really big to me was that my kids were young. Dominic was maybe 10 years old or 12. My daughter was very young. I was really bad prior, but once I eliminated all that toxic mindset, toxic mindset, clean. There's a lot more shit here. I'll just read it. After I went to rehab, probably 3 years later, I ended up getting another surgery. It was probably the worst one of all. I remember I was in mad pain. I tore my ACL. I sprained my MCL. They said pretty much my knee was dangling by one thread. Jesus. So it was pretty bad. I remember I wrestled in San Diego that night, and we were the main event. I was wrestling Del Rio. In the first 2 minutes of the match, I felt the snap. I was like, oh, shit, I'm fucked up. Like, no, let's go home. That's it. I was like, no, let's keep going. We kept rolling. But then afterwards, I probably damaged it more in the 10 to 12 minutes I stayed in the ring. I had the surgery. I came home. The doctor gave me painkillers. I took one throughout the whole night because they had to drill 2 holes in my knee. I remember it was the worst pain I've ever felt from the surgeries I've had in the past. I would tell my wife, no, I'm not going to take anything. I'm not going to take anything, and control my pain as much as I could until she says, I can't stand watching like that. So it was pretty bad. I remember I was bawling out with this, so she actually had them, so she controlled everything, but I didn't want to take them. Thoughts on that story from Ray?
I mean, yeah, he was at crossroads in his life, and he realized that he needed to make a change, and he made a change for the better. So, usually in wrestling, we usually see wrestlers like this that go down that dark hole, and aka Jake the Snake Roberts and Scott Hall, and many of our other wrestlers that we grew up loving. Some is doing better now, like Jake Roberts. Some, the demons got the best of them, like unfortunately, like Scott Hall. So glad to see Ray, decided to make a change for himself for the better very early on in his addiction, and so hopefully he's living life now. Hopefully now he's living life not necessarily pain free because he's still wrestling, so the pain's still there. But hopefully he's doing things a little bit more responsibly.
And I'm surprised I heard that. I'm surprised he told that story because I never would have guessed, someone like Ray, who, for all as far as we know about Ray's lived a very clean life. But then again, it's just a lot of these wrestlers, it's like we say, it's not ballet. You get hurt, shit's gonna happen. And for someone like Ray, who's been able to, keep this on the low, and no one really knowing about it, and just the fact that he, went up to Vince and said, "Hey, I have a problem." And Vince just, admired the fact that he just said, "Hey, I have a problem. Take some time off." What an evil Vince McMahon. Like, again, with Vince, yes, Vince has done things. He's currently done some things, but then you hear stories like this about Vince that he isn't the monster that we all thought he was. So I think it's more. I think he's more forgiving to some of the talent that I don't want to sound evil here, that he makes money off of. Right. And someone and people that have long-term stakes in WWE, because he knows Ray's loyal to WWE, so he decided to give him that time off. But to somebody like, let's say I don't know, LA Knight, right? He may not be that caring towards somebody like that. He'll still, as a boss, he'll still be like, oh yeah, take care of yourself. But he wouldn't be he'll let's say LA Knight comes back from his addiction or whatnot, he won't be pushed, or he will be off TV or something weird like that. It definitely does depend on the person, because I know Shane Helms talked about that, long after he left the company back in 2010, I believe. His mom passed away, and Vince actually called him to give his condolences. And it's how many CEOs and billionaires call their ex-employees. And and I love Helms, but Helms wasn't exactly a guy that drew money. Right. So I guess it depends on the kind of relationship that Vince has with people.
And also, not to mention, Helms was I don't know if he still is, but at one point was a producer too, so he
still is.
Worked close. Still is, or that's what I thought. So he definitely worked close with Vince in a way.
Right. So I mean, it's one of those things that like Vince. You always hear about him not being close with a lot of people, even like wrestlers or anybody that's ever really drew him money. But if he seemed like one of the guys that if he likes you, he likes you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he obviously loves Ray, and everybody loves Ray. So, kind of continue with the Ray topic. He was on another podcast, the After the Bell podcast with Corey and Kevin Patrick, and the subject of retirement came up, and he said he said Dominic convinced him not to retire. He said at one point I was feuding with Samoa Joe. It was probably in like 2018, I believe, and I remember either 2018 or 2019. And I remember that's when I really wanted to hang up the mask and retire. And as weird as it sounds, Dominic convinced me not to and told me to stay. I just felt like I was falling behind with all this young talent opening up a path. But I stayed and I committed to putting in the work. And it's been incredible ever since. It's weird saying this because it's Rey Mysterio. But when Rey first came back in, 2018?
Yeah.
Like, not to say he was having bad matches, but the matches weren't they weren't clicking the way a Rey Mysterio match usually would in the past. And granted, yes, he's had like 14 surgeries, and at this point he's being held up with like duct tape. But this most recent run, working with Dominic and the Judgment Day, he's been putting on some of his best work. Like, he is really going out there and killing it. In a lot of matches. Like, he had a really good match on Monday with Finn. I don't know, it's just before, like, it was like, oh, it's a Rey Mysterio match, or I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fun. But nowadays it's like, Rey is going out there and having really, like, you know what I mean, right? Like, it almost seems like Rey is more invigorated because he's getting to work with his son. And not just like,
I mean, like he has like a second, third life. He's feeling a little rejuvenated. No, I can definitely see that.
So I mean, he's gonna be 49 this year, and he's been his first match happened on, I believe, June of, or no, it wasn't actually. I think this year, this month is like the 34th anniversary of his first match. So he was 15 when he had his first match. So he's going to be 50 next year, which is nuts to think about. Another famous Hispanic wrestler, AEW's Bandito, admits he wants to go to WWE at some point. He was on... What podcast was he on? He was on a sit-down conversation with So Catch by Hal 2. And last September, he had offers from AEW and WWE following a match with Jericho and Dynamite. He signed with AEW, and when the subject with WWE came up, he said, at some point, I'd like to go to WWE, not in this moment, but I hope later, I was in WWE. They invited me to the Performance Center. They gave me a Camaro for all my week to drive. That was amazing. I made good amigos. Chris Hero, I saw him in the Performance Center, and now he's really, 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 really good to have as a friend. I love you, amigo. He's very nice. Talk about Wrestling Jericho. Yeah, that's about it. So, I mean, would you see that happening? Bandito going in WWE when he has a chance?
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to, I mean, he has the desire to, so I could definitely see it. Another masked wrestler. I don't know how now. I think he needs to lose his mask by then and develop a new character, kind of like with Andrade. Lon Sombra in Mexico. He ended up losing his mask, and and during that time period, he started Los Ingobernables, which start the tranquilo part of his character and stuff, and to the point where without the mask, like it wasn't needed. So one of these guys, him, Dragon Lee, these new wrestlers coming in, these new luchadors, one of them's gonna have to lose their mask, in my opinion. I'm just saying, like, you can't have that many masked wrestlers in WWE. It just won't work. He's a fantastic wrestler. I would love to see him there. He's doing excellent, on Dynamite and on AEW when he gets his chance. You know what I mean? But hopefully we'll see him there. I mean, he's a former Ring of Honor World Champion too as well. So yeah. I mean, I won't mind him. I won't mind seeing him there. He's young, like Vikingo. He's like 26, 27 years old. So he has plenty of time to go to WWE if he chooses to do so.
Do you see that for someone like Vikingo eventually going to WWE?
Yeah. I see a lot of these guys going to WWE or AEW. Someone like Vikingo, I definitely see him going to maybe AEW first, if anything, just because of the fact that Tony Khan already has an established relationship with them. I mean, he has an established relationship with, Bandito, obviously, but I think that since Tony Khan gave Bandito his first major, exposure to the American market, I think he'll probably want to go to AEW first. I may be wrong. He may want to end up going to WWE first. I don't know, but I see a lot of these guys going to either or, WWE or AEW. I mean, but Bandito, I mean, he already signed with AEW last year, so I think it was back in November or something like that last year when he signed with AEW. So
yeah, I mean,
I don't know how long his contract is, but yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna sound like a WWE shill. It's the biggest wrestling company, not just in the United States, but the world. People watch it. You get paid. Everybody has gone there at least once. So,
these guys are super young though. They don't have to go there immediately.
Oh no, hit their stride. Get in their prime and then go there. See how that works. And I mean, they just got Dragon Lee. So I mean, who's to say that Bandito won't go to WWE or Vikingo won't go to WWE? You know what I mean? It's just the biggest wrestling company in the world, wanting one of the biggest, wrestling stars in the world. One of the biggest. So, let's see, what else can we talk about? So we didn't get a chance to talk about this last week. So overall, what are your thoughts on, the big sale with WWE being merged with UFC by Endeavor?
I don't think anything of it. Really.
Okay.
I mean, this is the only thing I will say. Vince is only in charge because of Ari Emanuel, whatever his name is, the owner of Endeavor. It's the only reason why he's in charge, because he's friends with the owner of Endeavor. He only sold to Endeavor because this guarantees him to be in the spot that he's in right now. If they were sold to Disney or to, Comcast or to anybody else, that means Vince McMahon is not in charge. This guarantees that Vince McMahon is still in charge in some fashion. He only answers to Ari. He doesn't answer to nobody else. Doesn't answer to the stockholders no more. That doesn't matter. He only answers to Ari. And Ari said on TV that Vince is in control. It is his show. If they disagree on something, they just won't do it. You know what I mean? So, luckily Monday Night Raw was better last week or this past week. But half the crew wasn't there. You know what I mean? For, last Friday on SmackDown, very good show. But Vince was in. He wasn't there. I think it was in Seattle where they were at. He wasn't there because he went to the Eagles concert.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, the shows have been good, but caution. I will say, guys, caution. Because at any point in time, this man can just come back and take control right back. Okay? He said that, hey, I'm not going to be in the weeds.
Mm-hmm.
the very next day, or that. No, I'm sorry. That evening. I'm sorry, because they announced the acquisition on Monday. That later that evening, it was one of the worst Raws in the history of the WWE. Mm-hmm. Not the worst Raw at the WrestleMania. That's by a landslide. The worst Raw after WrestleMania. One of the worst Raws ever. It got like a .63 on an internet database, wrestling database. That's how bad the show was. But if Vince is the Vince of the last, I would say, 10 days, where he reviews the show and not make minor changes, I will live with that. Because the show, last Friday SmackDown, very good show. Monday's Raw, good show. Right? I'll live with that. It's not going to be a perfect Triple H situation, but I'll live with that. But if we're going to get what we got this past Monday, or not this past Monday, but 2 Mondays ago now, we're going to be in trouble, guys. We're going to be in trouble. So right now, I don't know how to feel. I mean, with the sell itself, it's whatever, right? Like, the sell was going to happen. We know, like, at least I know why. I know why the sell happened. I know why I went to Endeavor, because it's the only way that Vince could stay in control. It's the only reason. There's no other reason why they sold to Endeavor. Anybody else, even the Saudis, was probably going to get Vince out of there. But if we have Raw and SmackDown from last week, how they were last Friday and this past Monday's Raw being decent shows, I can live with that. But the moment that we start seeing a string of shows where fucking, Vince changing, how many times, let me ask this, how many times the show has changed when something was advertised and something was changed on the fly when Triple H was in full charge?
Never, right?
And I stated this, I think I say this before the year ended up. I was like, Raw's kind of, it's not, remember I said this, I said the storylines themselves, there's been no storylines outside the bloodline. I said that. Mm-hmm. I said that. I said it and I preached it. I said outside the bloodline, the stories have been pretty lackluster.
I mean, Ray and Dom, that's another good story.
Yeah, well, okay, well, exception of that one. But outside of that, but that's kind of like, okay, you gave me one, but there's still like eight other storylines that was shit. You know what I mean? You got fucking Bray Wyatt and fucking, just out of nowhere, just saying like, oh, the winner of Lashley and Brock Lesnar run. That's not what Triple H does with storylines. It's just that's just completely out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So I had a very heavy indication that Vince was in control of something. And with the stories coming out, I was right. So I don't trust this man whatsoever. I don't. Well, I don't want to get into a false hope like, maybe, this is still Triple H's WWE. No, this is Vince McMahon's WWE, right? It's just that if he wants to make those changes to certain storylines, to certain things, he will do it in a heartbeat. So, I'm just gonna enjoy what I'm gonna enjoy, right? Find the storylines I can enjoy, and with the Vince bullshit, we'll just have to bear that as much as we can.
Right. I mean, because last Monday was bad. To me, you know me, I've always been trying to be more the optimist of unless I actually see proof that Vince is back in creative, then I'm not going to believe it. But last Monday, you're like, oh yeah, that was a Vince show. That was a Vince run show.
That was terrible.
I mean, Triple H's booking hasn't been perfect, no, but at least it's there's a different flow to Triple H's booking. It's a better flow, it's better paced. Whereas Vince, it's like you said, it's this is advertised, now it's canceled. Seth Rollins coming out to the ring and then leaving, and then they show video footage of a producer going up to Seth and telling him that his segment has been canceled. And
I don't know if you heard, but I'm probably the only one that maybe heard this. 'Cause no one's been talking about it. But he said, like at the very beginning of that video, that fan video, he said something about respect or like no respect or something like that. So take that, as you will.
And just the whole show is just weird because like the whole show is basically just promos and vignettes, and that's literally it. There were like 2 matches, but they didn't mean shit. The Ray and Austin Theory match I thought was good, but other than that, just the rest of the show was not very good. I mean, Damian Priest almost killing Bad Bunny, or Bad Bunny almost killing himself by not taking a chokeslam. Well, Jesus. And then Friday, and then when Friday came along, it was like night and day.
It was night and day.
Night and motherfucking day. Yeah, just a better paced, a better flowed show with wrestling matches. And then on Monday, like I had said I'd put a tweet out where I was like, this is a very wrestling centric Raw, and Vince hates wrestling. And I put that as like, I put an LOL as like a joke, but it's a joke, but not really a joke. And it's just, Raw was really good. I mean, the matches are really good. Ray and Finn, I thought had a really good match. And then, the news coming out that like 50% of the roster had travel issues, and, Matt Riddle, Sami Zayn, like literally made it to the show on like the 9 o'clock hour. So that's why they, I don't think they literally made it in that segment. I think they made it right before the segment, and they had to look like they just got to the arena. So, cool. But just everything about the show was just so much better than last week. And just, again, I'm hoping that Vince is just on the business side of things.
Oh, no, he's not.
I hope.
You can throw that all the way out the window. He's not.
I hope. I'm going to be the optimist. I'm going to be the ostrich with his head in the sand. I hope it's just he just lets Triple H run the show, and that Vince takes care of the business side of things. And I'm going to get to another topic. So Vince McMahon is now an employee. He is now a WWE employee. He is not he's the chairman for the WWE, but he's not the CEO. He's now a WWE employee. His deal stipulates that he will serve as executive chairman for 2 years, from his start date of January 9th, 2023, when he returned to WWE. A report from The Hollywood Reporter indicates that McMahon's continued employment shall be continued on compliance with WWE's conflict of interest and code of conduct, and their equal opportunity and non-harassment policy. The clause in the deal comes after McMahon walked away from WWE last summer after being investigated by the board of directors for hush money payments made by him to women whom he had affairs with. So Vince literally has it in his contract that he cannot harass anybody. I mean, okay, so Justin, like anywhere you've ever had a job, does it say in your contract, don't harass people or don't make them feel uncomfortable?
Not in my. It's in the code of conduct. Yes,
right. But let me pull up another article, because I had another article that maybe explained it a lot better.
Well, let's just say this. We get the point. I think everyone knows what the point of this story is. To me, long story short, I will say this. Why does it even have to be in his contract in the first place? So are we condoning the other allegations? So basically, we're condoning these other allegations, and basically they knowingly know of these allegations. They still hire this man back, and it's like, hey, one more time, you're out of here. Why is it even? Why is it even to that point?
Right.
Why does it even get to that point? I just don't understand it. It's dumb. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It shows the irresponsibility and the what's the word I'm looking for here?
Ignorance.
Yes, the ignorance. The tone deaf. It shows how tone deaf Endeavor is. Period.
I mean, John, our friend of the show, friend of mine, John Draper, said it best. In the future, they need to study Vince McMahon as to how this guy has been able to dodge everything. And I'm not even saying it as like a good thing, as like, I'm admiring him or whatever. Like, no, I'm not. But like, how this guy has managed to pretty much be bulletproof by everything that's been going on. Like,
a lot of fucking money. Money changes everything, man.
The steroid trial. The other steroid, controversy with Benoit, and this guy has dodged everything. Like, things that would have been able to ruin someone's life and their career just by the first time it happens. Like, this guy just always finds a way to dodge everything. Like, and again, I'm not even saying it as like I'm admiring the guy. I'm really not. But how this guy has been able to like live this long and have how long of a career, it's insane, man. Like, I'll never understand it, because I remember when all this was happening, I was telling Jeff Lippman, anybody else, with these allegations, they would have retired. And, Jeff was like, well, Vince isn't like everybody else. Vince, it's a lot of arrogance from Vince's part, because Vince looks at us like, I don't have to. Where when he finally did, quote unquote, retire, you're like, oh, I guess he's not immortal. And then he came back, you're like, oh, well, I guess he is. So it's just, and I do agree with you when you're like, it's ignorance on Endeavor's part. When it's like, we knew about this and we're still doing business with you. And money has a funny way of making things go away. So
yeah, and I'll also ask this question too as well. If it were any other person, any regular person, let's say someone that makes $200,000 a year. I wish I could make $200,000 a year, right? But if someone were to make $200,000 a year, and these types of allegations will come against them this many times, would they still have their job, or would they be in jail? The chances are very high. Very fucking high.
I mean, look what happened to Papa John. I mean, have you heard from him? No, he got canceled a long time ago. Other people.
It should be called Shax now, not Papa John. Papa Shax.
Just call it Papa Shax. Donald Sterling, the owner of the Clippers, he got caught on tape just saying some very, very heinous things. And, I don't know if he's living in a box down by the river, but he got canceled out of society, and they dropped him as the owner of the team. So, again, just Vince always finds a way to come back. What is he? He's like the boogeyman. He's never going to go away. I mean, that's maybe like a poor choice of words, but you get what I mean. Like, he just always finds a way to skate by. Like, I hate to say this, he's probably going to live until he's 100.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. His mother's still alive, I think.
I believe his mom passed away, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, recently? It must have been recent then.
Oh, no, that was his brother. Never mind. His brother is the one that passed away. His mom lived to be...
I think his mom's still alive.
Yeah, his mom is alive. I think she's 100 or close to 100.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, no, I imagine Triple H. How long is this guy gonna stay alive? Kill him. No, I'm playing. But, Ruben texted him. He said he'll be here in a bit. Okay. Let's see, what other news can we talk about? I want to save the Bret Hart one for a little later, but let's see. Raw. Here are the producers and backstage notes for this week's episode of Raw. The producer for the Rey Mysterio and Finn Balor match was Jamie Noble. So, the producer for the Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus tag team title match with Liv Morgan and Raquel was Petey Williams. Poor Petey. I guess since we're going by the matches, we'll just briefly talk about the matches. So, what was your thoughts on that debacle of a tag team title match?
You said right there was a debacle. It sucked. I don't know what else to say. I mean, there was really nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? Kind of surprised that Liv and Raquel won the match that soon. I was surprised that the titles went off of Lita and Becky that soon, because again, and I talked about this last week, you had a match at WrestleMania that was a number one contenders match, and that gets changed. But the team that lost at WrestleMania, they get a title match. That doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Yeah, but the match itself, it sucked. There's really nothing much else to say about it.
Yeah, and just the Trish heel turn. Because you had Lita get quote unquote knocked out in the back, and you're like, all right, the heel turn's happening tonight. We kind of figured, and the match was just. We already said it was bad. It was a debacle, and afterwards, Trish. I was surprised Trish took the pin by Liv, and it was a schoolboy pin. I was expecting.
I'm not surprised by that, because that that kind of gives her more reason to be a heel.
I was expecting more like, there's a big moment and Becky goes for the hot tag to not Lita, Trish, and then Trish does the, she doesn't tag her in. She like jumps off the rope and just stares at her with this evil stare or whatever, and then I don't know, but I guess you're right. And then Trish, to me, because
the story. Not to interrupt, but the story is that, and it's gonna be like, oh, well, you think I'm second fiddle? Well, I'll show you, type of thing. You know what I mean? And right. I think she wants to prove in the match that, okay, hey, I'm still Trish Stratus. Hey, I'm still combined. Hey, I can still benefit. Hey, I just won this match for us. Then since they lost titles, then it was like, okay, fuck it, let me just turn now, type of thing.
Yeah, I get you. And then, Trish botched the heel turn because Becky, I guess she, like, the timing was off, because I think she was trying to hit her from the back, so that way Becky could, like, fall down more properly, whereas she hits her and then Becky falls into the ropes. And the reaction was a little flat. Where were they on Monday? The city?
Portland.
I don't know. I would think Portland would be a little bit more livelier, but I don't know. Just they didn't really seem to react.
I think it was Portland.
Right, but that heel turn just it didn't really work personally. But now we have that match, potential match at I would assume Backlash. Hey Kyle, what's up? Adam Pearce produced Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed. That was a good match. What'd you think?
It was all right.
All right then. Shane Helms produced the Alpha Academy versus the Usos.
That was an excellent match.
Good match. For a second, I thought Alpha was going to win to kind of continue, I guess, that downward spiral of the Usos. I don't know, but that's just me.
I would have been highly pissed off about that. I had to question that logic if that happened, because it's like, you haven't lost a match in almost over 2 years, but you now you lose 2 in a row, and once to Alpha Academy, like, that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, no, I get you though.
Just for like Roman to be like, so you guys have lost a step. You're a bunch of losers. I can't have a bunch of losers in my family. Kenny Dykstra produced Michin versus Piper Niven versus Io Sky. Io Sky is now the number one contender for the Raw Women's Championship.
Yep. It was decent.
Yep. Good to see Io getting some opportunities. So
yeah, for sure.
I love Io, and I love her entrance. I love that they kind of brought back the old school NXT entrance. Jason Jordan produced Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa. Solid main event.
Yeah, solid.
And then afterwards, the beatdown happened, and Matt Riddle joined forces with Zayn and Kevin Owens. So That looks like it's going to be part of Backlash. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely so.
And then it says Molly Holly produced Dolph Ziggler versus Tyler Bate and Nikki Cross versus Zoe Stark for main event.
And Seals matches. I'm sure they were both good matches though.
So Tyler Bate getting a main event match. Good. Other notes. Well, this is mainly just a few notes. Finn Balor was banged up before his match against Rey Mysterio, causing some concern backstage. One talent also mentioned that Sol Sequoia versus Kevin Owens about being booked for the third time in 5 weeks was a rarity for Triple H's regime. Oh boy. Raw underwent a plethora of changes due to travel issues. So yeah, there's that. Let's see, what else can we talk about? We'll talk about that in a bit. So Logan Paul re-signed with WWE, and how long is his deal?
I don't think it's said. I don't know if it's for another year or 2 years.
I heard it's 2 years. I think Jeff.
I think you're right. I think it is 2 years.
Which good. I mean, Logan's a star. He's been a pleasant surprise to the company. He's been in 5 matches. I mean, the Rumble counts as a match, and he's been impressive in all 5 of them. He had a championship match with Roman, which was good. Ruben said he'll be here in 5. He had an impressive performance in the Rumble. Just that what I call the crouching tiger, hidden dragon sequence with Ricochet.
Yeah.
Which I'm still kicking myself for not recording that when it happened live, because I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. And the match with Miz at SummerSlam, that was impressive. His Mania match from last year, which was really impressive. The match with Seth at Mania, this past Mania, what I thought was really entertaining. So I guess just to kind of pose a question at you. So, like, now that Logan is re-signed, do you think he should work more dates?
Only if he becomes U.S. champion or Continental champion. Yes.
Which is funny that you bring that up, because that was something he did bring up. So
yeah. It's something I've been preaching a while too. So.
Right, he was on ESPN, or he was speaking to ESPN, and he disclosed what winning a championship under his new contract with WWE would mean to him. He said, "I wouldn't have signed this contract if I didn't think I was capable of getting a WWE belt. I think it'd be the coolest thing ever. I love to have it on my resume, and I love to show every kid around the world who watches WWE that you can achieve anything." So, winning a title is on Logan's radar. He's not just in here to have entertaining matches and be noticed, which I mean he is and he isn't, but like his sole purpose, kind of like you said, he wants to win a championship one of these days, whether it be the heavyweight title or a mid-card title, which you had said a while ago, you'd want to see him maybe with like the Intercontinental title or the US title.
Mid-card be best. As soon as he wins a mid-card title, you can start having him on TV every week, have him on the house show circuit, have him live the real life WWE wrestler, full grind for like a month or two. Then you can lose the title. Then just be like, hey, I was champion for a couple months, and I did this grind for a couple months, and have him on TV for a few months, and bring him back for another big match. I mean, I think they can definitely do it if given the right opportunity.
I mean, because people, everyone I know, like they say the same thing. I don't like him as a person, but I think he's really good. Like the missus and her sister, they can't stand him, but they're like, but he is really good. Like he is really entertaining in the ring, and he gets it. Like he gets it. Probably better than most people. He knows how to be a heel. He knows how to play to the crowd. He needs to work on his promos, because like when he talks, he still kind of stumbles on his words, and he doesn't sound like he's that comfortable in front of a crowd just yet. But I mean, another thing, he needs to be a heel. Like he needs to be a full on heel, and not just like a tweener. He needs to be a heel. But other than that, like, I'm glad he signed back. As far as like what his next feud could be, like who would you put him in as his next big feud?
I would say definitely a face. I don't know, because you went from Roman to Seth, and you're gonna have to do like a little minor drop down from there. I can see him, believe it or not, I can see him and Ricochet just based off that moment of the Royal Rumble. I don't know if that's a feud that everyone else wants to see. I can see WWE doing that. Him and LA Knight. LA Knight seems to be gaining more of a babyface reaction now. Now I don't know if they're gonna turn him face though, or if it's just gonna be like a tweener Logan Paul versus a heel LA Knight. I really don't know, because like it has to work, but it also has to be realistic. Like him and Bobby Lashley, that ain't realistic. Bobby would just go and absolutely massacre him. You know what I mean? Him and Brock Lesnar, definitely not. Right? Him and Cody, definitely not. So it has to be on that level.
I kind of disagree with you on a few things. I mean, I think for Cody, that can't be like soon. That has to be like, somewhere down the line, because Logan is a much better heel eventually in the future. I mean, I think him and Cody could work. I mean, because Cody's Captain America. Everyone loves Cody. He's the big baby face. So I think that could work as a feud and a match. I mean, it could maybe even be a really good match.
I'm not disputing that, but I'm just saying that like you gotta think about it this way. If they're gonna sign him for 2 years, they're not just gonna put him in every single high profile match. He may be feuding with some of the more middle card guys. Right. You know what I mean? Rather to bring up those guys who are not getting much reaction, or just to bring up their level overall. I mean, could he feud with Cody? Yes. I don't want to see it though, personally. Just because of the fact that, to me, it's like, if Cody's champion, okay, he gets another title shot that he loses. If he's not champion, then, like, I don't really see that feud really enhancing. It won't enhance Cody. It won't enhance Logan Paul. You know what I mean? In my opinion. I think for something like that. But, it has to benefit Logan Paul and the other talent. Or wherever talent. So I can see him and Ricochet, because just because like that one spot of the Royal Rumble, they just did like a crazy viral moment. And what does Logan Paul like to do? He likes to go viral, right? So he'll him and Ricochet, that's definitely like a viral type match. Him and LA Knight, not so much for in-ring per se, but just for the shenanigans that they could do back and forth on the mic, and even have segments against each other. But I honestly think that Logan Paul may go after either the United States. I think the United States title is definitely in the air for him. Not like a one-on-one feud against Austin Theory, but maybe like a triple threat match or a fair four-way where he ekes out a title win that way. So from there, he could face someone else, and plus we have the draft coming up too as well. So we don't know where everyone's gonna be lining up at. So that's why this question is even more hard to answer, because it's like I can name people right now, but Logan Paul, who's been predominantly on Raw, right, for the most part, we don't know if he will be signed to Raw, to SmackDown, if he's just gonna be a freelancer. We don't know. So there's a lot of things that can be different between now and then, for sure, to see who he could feud with and how that makes sense.
You're right. But Ruben's down in the chat. What's going on, Rube?
Yo, what's going on? Guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. You guys are talking about the draft, huh?
We're talking about Logan Paul. Logan Paul. Yeah, well, and signing.
I mean, we could talk about the draft. Triple H on Friday announced that there will be a draft in a few weeks. I believe it's Was
He
it
didn't
the,
give it. He didn't give an exact day. He just said a few weeks.
I think I saw a report saying it's the Raw that's before Backlash, or that week of Backlash.
Yeah.
That's
And
what I heard. Yeah.
And it's going to be in Jacksonville.
Oh God.
Oh boy, here we go again.
We trapped K Omega. What? How you can do that?
SmackDown drafts Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Oh, that will be funny.
Or like SmackDown drafts Adam Cole.
I could just pick. I don't know. I just picture the promo MJF. I'm glad I finally have a boss who isn't a complete fucking mark.
I still go back to that promo, well, that shoot that MJF did, and it was cutting off his mic, and he was calling Tony Khan a fucking mark. That's still one of the best shoot promos that I've heard from that company, because it just felt real. And that's like one thing, regardless of how you feel about MJF, he makes you feel, and besides Danielson and MJF and like a handful of other people, you don't really feel like this is more, wrestling, which is fine. People love their wrestling, but I just think that it'd just be funny if MJF came out during the draft and he did a promo, like, one of them shoot promos. But, that's what if, right? We can only dream. We didn't get a good invasion angle, so maybe we can get a better one with this. But, person can dream.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, we were just talking about Logan Paul, Rube. Logan Paul had signed or re-signed with the WWE. I believe it's a 2-year deal. And me and Justin were just kind of brainstorming ideas of like what you do with Logan Paul next, as far as like, what would his like next big time feud be? And, I had some ideas. Justin, mentioned, Ricochet can be a feud, because they had that, that what I call the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, spot at the Rumble, which was fucking incredible, which I'm still kicking myself for not recording that shit when it was live.
Oh man.
But who would you pick as like Logan's like next big feud?
Well, I will go with Ricochet, because you gotta capitalize that. I think that it was, I want to say, a failed opportunity, but I know they went with the Seth Rollins route. So I understood why, because Seth Rollins is a bigger name than Ricochet. But I think that not elevating Ricochet, and having that storyline with Logan Paul leading up to Mania, I think that would have been a cool spot. But I guess you could revisit that now, since Logan Paul, he's on there for he's signed a deal for 2 years. So I think that would be the move, the logical choice. Another choice, because we really need him on TV. We really need LA Knight on TV. Imagine the promos between these two.
Yeah.
Like,
I think me and Ruben are the same person, because I said the same two people.
Right.
yeah. But another one, another, I guess like another option, if he was more like full time, I think it will be Cena. I think John Cena will be another one if he was full.
That's like
full-time.
a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania.
I mean, isn't that the rumor that it's going to be Cena and Logan Paul at SummerSlam?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I heard that. Yeah. If Cena's available, yeah, I'll be down for that.
I mean, if that's the case, do you think Cena does the job or Cena wins?
Cena wins.
I'll have to go with Logan, because
I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah, I'll have to go with Logan. He lost. I think that Cena losing he's never gonna be less than, because he lost. I just think that you you got to get a return on your investment. Like, you got to have him win because, you know, you're paying Logan Paul, like, God knows, an insane amount of money. So you need to have him, like, get a few wins. Because if you're just going to be there and lose all the time, I think that is just kind of going to devalue him. And Cena, he's basically retired. So I just think that if you're going to have Logan Paul on for 2 years, you got to get that return on investment and have him win.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, because, like, in a lot of, you know, these big high profile matches, he needs to win some of them. I mean, because we're not expecting him to beat Cody or, you know, Roman or, you know, Brock for that matter. Like, he needs to at least win one match to really certify himself as, like, oh, maybe he is a top dog. You know, because it's okay for him to beat The Miz or anybody that's more of a mid-carder, like a Ricochet. But for him to beat Cena, I think would really, you know, it would really, you know, it would really, you know, up his stock. Yes. You know, because at this point, Cena doesn't need to win. He doesn't need to win any more matches. You know, he could lose, you know, 50 matches in a row, and he's still going to be John Cena.
Right.
You know, he's a movie star. He's in DC. He's a fucking peacemaker, so he doesn't really need to win matches. He doesn't need to be the last guy at the dance anymore. He can just put over talent. And I think at this point, that's what Cena's back to do, is just put over talent. So, right. You know, Logan would probably need this. Well, not probably. He does, you know, need this win a lot more than Cena. So, that's if the match happens at SummerSlam. But that's kind of the talk. You know, word going around the water cooler. But Ruben, we haven't really had a chance to talk about, you know, wrestling too much. But overall, what were your thoughts about WrestleMania from top to bottom?
Overall, it was a good show. Mm-hmm. I think it was a WrestleMania that I was, like, anticipating, like, for the first time. Like, normally I don't I don't look forward to a lot of WrestleManias or just wrestling pay-per-views in general. There's a lot of other overhype, you know, over promising and delivering. You have just a lot of fluff. But with this year's Mania, like, there was some optimism. With night one, I was like, yeah, night one was awesome. Like, this night was, like, hands down, like, top 5 WrestleManias. And I'll actually go back and watch it again. Second night, it was just a whole different feel from the word go. And it was a bummer show. There was, you know, of course, you had some good matches on there. But overall, it was just like, yeah, it was just way different. And then, of course, because, you know, the internet wrestling fans didn't get what they want. You know, they had Sammy and Kevin win the Undisputed Tag Titles. So there was like, yeah, so that means Cody's going to win the Undisputed World Title. And I was like, I was on a Discord with friends of mine, and I was like, well, I don't know. Like, if Cody would have won, I would not have been upset about it, because it's like, okay, it makes sense. But I don't think he was going to win. And people was like, nah, he has to win, because who I tell you, who they're going to have dethrone Roman? I'm like, it's still going to be Cody, but it's not going to be now. It's just too soon. Then, of course, when it happened, people got pissed off. And I mean, to be honest, I understood people's, you know, reasoning for getting pissed off, but I was marking, and I was like, yeah, everyone got disappointed. Kind of like when Thanos snapped everyone in the end of Infinity War. I was smiling, you know, ear to ear, because at the end of the day, come on now. Like, it's like, for how people was, like, just getting angry, and I'm like, relax, he's gonna win the titles, just not now. But if you saw how that WrestleMania was booked, and then you went to Monday night. Yeah, that god awful show overall, but it's just people were just really upset. Like, dude, just relax, like, calm down. Like, he's gonna win it. And then with the whole thing with adversity, Cody didn't go through enough adversity. I'm just like, well, like, he came back from the Rumble. They announced him coming back from the Rumble. He came out number 30. He won. He had a competitive match with Gunther for like a few minutes, and it was really good. That was like the best part of the Rumble. But then after that, he didn't get jumped by the bloodline. He won all his matches leading up to Mania, so it's like there wasn't much adversity that he went through, and I think it's because him getting injured, torn his pec, kind of derailed plans, and then the Sami Zayn element, the Sami Zayn element then comes in, and then that's how he got put into that spot, but we knew he wasn't going to win. But I just again, night one, perfect night. Night two, like, it wasn't a bad night, but it was definitely just a completely different show. If we can have night one just by itself, just standalone, it would have been the best WrestleMania, hands down. But, the Cody, people souring on Cody not winning, and then all the other issues with the matches, and like, it was a less than show. But I just think that people need to calm down with the whole Cody thing. Like, he's gonna get the belt. It's only a matter of time. They just need to be patient, because of course, WWE, they love their numbers. 1,000 days plus as champion, so he's gonna get that. Like, there's no way they're gonna miss an opportunity on that, because they love talking about their numbers. Here's the numbers. You know how it goes, guys. Like, it's gonna happen, and once that happens, by SummerSlam, he's gonna get the belts, and that's it. But I just think that because it's Cody, if it was someone else, they wouldn't give a damn. But because it was Cody, people were like, like, who? Like, WWE? Like, it's like, you already knew. But I just think that people got their hopes up because it's their favorite, and it seemed like he was going to win, like, and they made it seem like he was going to win, but no. That wasn't the case. But that still didn't deter like my whole view on both nights as a whole. But the second night was definitely inferior to the first night. He's got to win. See, we got old man Vince back in charge. So, oh God, like that. I was saying it to people. He's back. Like, you see how the shows have changed a bit. Like, he's back in there. They're not gonna tell you straight up, oh no, he's back there. Like, because you really think they're just gonna say it right, outright? No, absolutely not. He's back there. He's in Gorilla. Him and that pedo mustache. He's in there.
Oh, God.
He's definitely back there. Like, you have Brock and Omos, you have things that Vince will book, things that Vince will do, so you already know, like, come on. And then people was like, nah, he's not back, it's not true. Like, are you paying attention? Are you watching the same show? Are you seeing, like, with your own two eyes? Are you just seeing how things are being booked? It's stuff that Triple H won't do, and I feel sorry for Triple H, because he sounds like a liar now. It's based on just him coming out Monday and Friday night to, like, ease the worries, but we know that eventually he's gonna be out the door. Once this, I hope not, but just based on everything, he's in the same position as Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman. Yeah, like, I really think that he's gonna be out the door, because they see, oh look, things are going bad on Triple H's watch, so we got to do something about it. And
he's just there as a spokes guy. And last week, I was going to mention this last week before I tapped out, but I'm not surprised Triple H is gone by the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, He's going to be out of there before, by the end of the year, he was gone. And just based on everything, especially with the merge with Endeavor, with the purchase by Endeavor and merging WWE with UFC, it's going to be a lot of cuts. There's going to be a lot of trimming off the fat, and there's going to be a lot of fall guys. And as someone that has gone, just experienced this with, being brought out, contracts and then all that, I can tell you that it's going to be very, very nasty once this merger is official. Once everything is gone through, you're going to see a lot of people jump ship. You're going to see a lot of people get fired. You're going to see a lot of people take the axe to the back, because there's always a fall guy in these corporate settings. If that doesn't happen, I'm going to be like, wow, that is a miracle. But I definitely see that happening with, with Hunter and then with a lot of other people.
There's going to be a lot of budget cuts.
Oh yeah. Hey guys, it's no hard feelings, budget cuts, you know the drill, just budget cuts. That's what you're going to hear from all these dirt sheets. Just budget cuts, budget cuts.
For Triple H, the worst thing for him would be somebody tapping him on the shoulder. You just hear, "Hey, Paul, here, take your spot."
Oh God, I really think if they bring back laryngitis, I really don't know if I'm gonna watch WWE if they have him back there, because no one likes him. No one likes him. Yep. Because the unholy trinity is Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and Bruce Pritchard. And then if you add Pete Dunne there, he's the fourth.
Kevin Dunn.
Yeah, I want to say Kevin Dunn. Kevin Dunn and his Bucky Beaver fucking teeth.
And Michael Hayes. Michael Hayes, you can probably throw him in there.
Yeah.
Hey, Vince! Dirt! You want a water, Vince? Yeah, that's I can't do that impression. But oh boy, I'm trying to stay optimistic in this. I don't see why Triple H will be fired, but it's one of those things of would it really be that surprising if he did get fired?
Yeah.
Oh boy,
it'll be kind of surprising. Just because, he's basically the face. He's the person that people identify, and with all the stuff that he did in NXT and the stint that he had on the main roster, people are more confident with him than Vince, because Vince is just out of touch. He just goes to his old tried and true carny BS. And with Triple H, he's more modern. He has more of a fresh take on things. It's not a way perfect, but it's way better than what we had with Vince, and people love that. And again, you go back to, NXT with, classic NXT. I went to a lot of those house shows, and even the house shows, I was like, wow, this is fucking great. I swear, I got exposed to, Asuka, Bailey, all these people that I see now. I'm like, damn, what? A lot of them are successful, but it's damn, that magic, that feeling from 2016, 2017, damn, where did that go? I just cannot explain it. Where it seemed like everyone had a spot on the card, everyone felt big, felt important. And now it's you're getting a bit of that, but no one feels really that important. And it's because of what, Triple H has done, and with the team he had. Now it's just one person, maybe another one, that's it. But everyone else feels like they're just mid. And we need to get back to a point where we have everyone in the storyline, everyone in a story, everyone's being utilized to a point. But it doesn't feel like that. It just feels very odd. It just kind of feels like we're reverting back you know.
Yeah, those 8 months of WWE programming were good. They were enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was a fancy dream, and it's now over.
You know who else is mad about wrestling? Bret the
Ooh.
Hitman Hart.
Sounds about right.
Bret Hart was on HNL Live, and he criticized the current modern wrestling product. I really roll my eyes at how pathetic wrestling is today from top to bottom. All the top wrestlers and all the middle and bottom wrestlers in WWE and AEW all slapping their leg on every punch and every slap. It's like it's to point now where I can't watch wrestling today. Sadly, it's getting too phony, and I really question the direction that people that are in charge that are taking wrestling seriously. AEW kind of gone on a bad direction. Jesus Christ, the grammar. I think with all the violence and gore, Dean Ambrose sticking a fork in somebody's head for 5 minutes with a close-up on TV, that isn't wrestling either. He also talked about attending the WWE Clash of the Castle PLE back in September. It was embarrassing to sit in the front row and watch all these kids in the audience slap their legs as the wrestlers slap their leg in these kick spots where they pretend to kick each other with shin pads and slap sounds all over. To realize that the crowd is in on it, the entire floor is clapping and slapping their leg. I'm going, we used to try and make it real. What happened? Everybody is in on it. It's a giant charade. I had a hard time feeling the fan part of me to come to life. When I watch Dungeon Wrestling and I'm watching this young girl, Zoe Sager, in wrestling, just watching her take someone over in a headlock and having a real headlock on was so much more than anything I saw in Cardiff with the wrestlers over there. It goes back to simple art. Wrestling is an art form. All art is simple. Wrestling is a simple art that is really just storytelling, good versus bad, most of the time. Anyway, it's an easy story to tell. Wrestlers have been doing it for decades, and wrestlers from 2009 up don't know anything about telling stories or what headlocks are. Jesus Christ, this goes on. I'll finish it. When I see wrestlers today just slapping and the crowd going woo, and everyone's knees slapping, one after the other, and these guys have welts all over their chest and blisters, and their chests hurt that night, and they go, geez, I was an idiot tonight, and let somebody slap me on the chest as hard as he could 500 times, and my chest is killing me. That's what they were used to do to the jabronis back in the old days. They would chop them, beat them, and slap them. I would never let a guy slap me and chop me. Whit Flair is the only guy that ever chopped me. He usually got to me in the end where I would tell Rick, you can give me one chop in the match to get it over with. I don't know why it's funny. But as far as the match goes, I'm not going to sit there and stick my chest out for some guy to slap me on the chest for an hour. That's not what wrestling is. It's not about hurting yourself. It's not about coming back to the dressing room and feeling. Everyone knows that it's not real, right? They all know what's going on. So why are you letting someone slap you and drop you and whip you across the chest and hurt you, and you're in pain all night, and you wake up the next day with blisters all over your chest, and then do it again the next night? It's just stupid. So that's the end of that quote. And he also has a quote about Jon Moxley.
Oh boy.
Where's the quote? While speaking at HN Live, Bret Hart was asked about the current state of wrestling, then advised fans to turn off any matches with Jon Moxley. AEW has kind of gone in a bad direction, I think, with all the violence and gore. I watched some episodes. You know, I watched Martha Hart do her big press conference out for AEW here in Calgary. I'm watching AEW, and I'm watching who used to be Dean Ambrose stick a fork in somebody's head for like 5 minutes with a close-up on TV. That isn't wrestling either. I would recommend turning all of that off. I don't watch that stuff anymore. It's not very good. Wrestling is going in some bad directions because people don't know what wrestling is or was or ever will be. No, I'm playing. But yeah, that's how Bret hates wrestling, guys. I don't know how you feel about that. Who feels about that?
Who wants to go first?
Whoever wants to go.
I mean, I have nothing to say. I mean, I don't have anything to add to it. I mean, to me, it's like Bret Brent needs to understand, and there's some things I agree with him. I agree with him more on that statement than it's like 70%, 30%. I agree with him about 70% of that. But it's like, okay, wrestling is an art form, like he says. There's just different art forms that you just may not understand. Like he's the old school. He's the technician. He likes the storytelling, all that stuff. But there's wrestling that is deathmatch wrestling. There is strong style wrestling. There is deathmatch wrestling. There is, wrestling where you just do nothing but submission moves, like catch as catch can, right? You know what I mean? So there's all different genres of wrestling. He just doesn't understand other genres of wrestling, right? I'm not saying that's right. You know what I mean? Because there's some other wrestling that I don't like either, but that's an art form, and like you can't put a label on this art form known as wrestling. Like, we don't put labels on art form as far as music. There's a lot of things out there that we may never hear of, but it may be popular to somebody else. So it's the same thing with wrestling, and but again, I agree with most of what you said. It's just that the biggest thing to me is like, well, wrestling is art form. Well, to me, yes, wrestling is art form, and there's different genres of wrestling. You know what I mean? You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it at the end of the day, but just know that there are different genres, and just know that there are people out there that enjoy those genres.
Right. I mean, it's subjective. Everything about wrestling is subjective. Kind of like music. There's people that like rap. There's people that like rock. There's people that like, pop or country or what have you. I mean, there's country rock. There's country rap. I think it's all fucking stupid, but as an audience, people enjoy it. I mean, like that dude who performed at the Rumble, Hardy. I thought he sucked, but obviously he has an audience. I respect Bad Bunny for how seriously he takes wrestling, and I also think he's kind of a good dude, and he does a lot of charity work, but his music I'm not crazy about. But people love it. He sold out Madison Square Garden. I mean, he makes a shit ton of money. So, what do I know? But, going back to wrestling, it's subjective. I don't fucking like Orange Cassidy. I think he sucks. But people like him. They claim he's good. A good friend of the show, Shaheen, he said, before Orange Cassidy was Orange Cassidy, before he did the denim thing, he was, in his words, he said he was a really good wrestler, and then he did the pockets gimmick, and, people love it. I don't know why they do, but they do, so I'm not going to hate on people for it. So, with Brett, Brett is very much, comes from the old school, came from the dungeon. He likes wrestling, in his own way, kind of like Jim Cornette prefers wrestling in his own way. I like to give things a chance at least once in a while, and if I think it's not good, and if I don't enjoy it, I'm just not going to watch it. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be a lot easier for me to come up here and say AEW sucks, I hate AEW, I never want to watch AEW again. Not until next Wednesday. Like, for me, it's like, I'll at least find some good things I liked about AEW. Like tonight, I thought Darby and Swerve had a really good match, even though I thought Swerve maybe should have won the match, but, I understood why Darby had to win. But, I like to give everything a chance. With Brett, kind of like what Justin just said, I agree and I don't agree with most of what he said. The whole leg slapping on super kicks or slaps or whatever, I think it's stupid, and the fact that the crowd is in on it kind of shows you how phony and stupid it is. I kind of feel I have mixed feelings about the whole like chest slapping thing. I mean, that's kind of Gunther's thing. He slaps chest and he like fucks up your chest or whatever. But the fact that guys are willing to, I guess, stick their chest out and take that pain, it's like, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, we kind of pretty much said the same shit about it. But Ruben, what do you think about Brett's comments?
Oh boy. Oh boy. No. I thrive on pressure. I destroy pressure into little itty bitty pieces. Yes, as you can see with my my Discord profile picture. Like, I am the new god of destruction of the wrestling community. Now I'm playing.
Hell yeah.
So with Bret, it's kind of like an inside joke with my friends, but getting back to business, with Bret Hart's comments, I think that he made some valid points, but again, like a lot of you guys said, like, I also agree with that wrestling is subjective. If there's something that you don't like, is not for you, don't watch it. But also, I do understand that if you had to hurt yourself and do all these things to get over, then I understand why. Like, I in total understanding and agreement with what Bret Hart's saying in that. But again, you had Gunther, who likes to, slap the shit out of people. And he can have good matches. Like, I haven't seen a bad Gunther match. So that's saying a lot. And I just think that there's so many different styles of wrestling. One may be not particular your flavor. Maybe I like, like cake. Maybe I like tres leche cake. Maybe I don't like carrot cake. But I do like, double chocolate chip cake or whatever. There's so many different flavors out there for you to try. But instead of focusing on one too much or hating on the other one too much, I think that it's just important to understand that if something isn't for you, that's fine. But to go and criticize others, like I get the flack for not liking like AEW style of wrestling, just not that much storytelling, the leg slapping, like just the indie style wrestling. Like, I like it, but in doses. If I seen one match of that style, you've seen them all.
Right.
And when it's overly saturated, then it's like, I'm tapped out. Just having an oversaturation of the same thing, that is an issue as well. I think that wrestling, you can have, like, if I were able to book a show, like, I will have storylines with great storytelling. I'll have, you have just a bit of comedy here, a bit of strong style here. You can have a bit of everything, but you're not going to please everyone. I think that that's the other thing too. You're not going to please everyone. The best you can do is just put on a great show overall. That is my thing. But that's the other aspect of it too. Like, wrestling now is just a lot of people, just people pleasing instead of just telling the story, getting yourself over, not beating yourself up, not killing yourself, not breaking your neck. Like, some of these people don't have any necks. Like, it's just jello at this point. But I don't know. Like, I agree with what he's saying, but I can also see where, like, wrestling's subjective, just like comedy, just like movies, just like video games. There's so many genres for you to pick from. If you don't like one, then there's another. But I do get where he's talking about in terms of the state of wrestling, where just like with music, like you see with rap and hip hop, like, it's just the same flow, the same beat. No one feels original. No one feels like, no one stands out. It's just, it sounds the same. It sounds repetitive. And kind of like with wrestling, you see one match where everyone does tope suicidas, just moves off the top rope, doing the spot where everyone huddles, by ringside, and then the other guy just jumps off and does a flip, and everyone trying to get their shit in. When you see that once and twice and 3 times, 4 times, like every match, it's like, okay, you gotta change up the formula. You gotta change it. You gotta try to be original, as original as you can be. Because I do get where he's coming from. To just the fact that you see a lot of the same matches, they don't stand apart. So I'm with Bret. I'm like, like what Justin said, 70-30. Like, I get where he's coming from, but again, if you don't like a particular favorite tea, just go in the pantry and get yourself another cup. Get a tea bag, something. If you don't like tea, get soda. If you don't like soda, something. Just get the thing. Drink water. I don't know, tap water. But just one flavor isn't good. Try another flavor. And yeah, I just guess that's all I got to say about that.
Speaking of old wrestlers hating wrestling, Kurt Angle. Well, he doesn't really hate wrestling, but like he was talking about the finish on night 2 with Roman and Cody on his podcast, the Kurt Angle Show podcast. He says, "I'm not going to beat up on Roman because he's the man he deserves to be. We're in a time now where if you're a champion for 3 years, that's a little too long. It's too long. We're not in territories anymore. When you're in territories, you're on TV every week. So fans had to come to see you at the arenas. You'd only be in that city 1 day a week. So fans had to come to see..." Already said that. So they only saw 1 day a week back when they were champion for 6-8 years. Now Roman Reigns has gone on. It looks like he's going to have to hold the title for another few years. The thing is, he's on TV every week, sometimes twice a week, and then, a pay-per-view every month. It's just a lot. I don't believe the ratings are going to go down, but I do believe some people are going to lose interest because they're not making other wrestlers. Roman has an opportunity to make a wrestler. He could have made Cody into a megastar, in which Cody is already a star, but he could have been a megastar if he won at WrestleMania. That's just my opinion. We've kind of already discussed this earlier, so me and Justin had said for months, that Roman's more than likely going to hold on to that title solely because, that 1,000-day thing is coming up. And, we both agreed Cody hasn't really struggled since he, came back to that Rumble and was basically handed the match. Granted, Gunther made him work for it, but Cody won it by coming in at 30. And, two things, Dusty, his dad, Dusty was always a fan of, the chase, the title chase. And, Don Tony brought up a good point on his show that he had with Kevin on Patreon, which was, it's like Dusty versus the the Four Horsemen, where, the Horsemen would always screw with Dusty until finally Dusty beat Ric Flair and won the title. And that was the big chase. So, in this case, Cody is Dusty, and the bloodline is, the Four Horsemen. Another thing that comes into play is the hero's journey. The hero is always going to be riddled with challenges. In anything that you watch, whether it be television or movies or comics or any form of media, the hero always struggles to finally be the hero. You can watch any Marvel movie. Iron Man struggled to be Iron Man. Cap struggled to be Cap. And Spider-Man struggled to be Spider-Man until finally he got to the point where he finally reached that plateau of he's finally in the spot where he needs to be. So for Cody, that's what it's kind of like. Like, he's going to struggle because he didn't realize that the bloodline is just going to be everywhere he goes. So, and now he has like the biggest, mountain to get over, and Brock. Whether he wins that match or not, it's going to be a struggle. What happens after that? I kind of pose the idea of, since the King of the Ring is coming up, that's going to be a pay-per-view in May. Bring back the stipulation back in 2002 where the winner of the King of the Ring gets a title shot at Mania, or not Mania, SummerSlam. Like, have Cody win King of the Ring and get a rematch at SummerSlam against Roman.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Like that's how you go about, booking Cody in his journey, because you're absolutely right. Like, and I go back to, friends of mine, friends, acquaintances of mine, and they were just pissed, and they were like, well, he should have won it now. But it was like, you don't understand. And even like a lot of podcasts, they were saying, well, the fact that people are saying he hasn't gone through enough adversity, And they're like, no, you don't understand. Like, just the fact that, like, it's prime time now for him to win is like, I think people forgot how wrestling, like the basis of wrestling, you have a heel and the bad guy. You have, you know, the face as a good guy, and you have the heel with the prize, with the grandest prize, and the good guy has to chase. But of course, there's always obstacles, you know, that, you know, the heel's minions, stable, faction, whatever. And then you have to go through the ringer. So that way, when you do win, that win means something. It's like, if, you know, going back to like when we had Super Cena or even like Orton or other people that were just, you know, for like Charlotte, force fed, you know, down our throats, and we knew it, and they were trying to play it off as no, we're not, like, this person is going through adversity, but, you know, eventually they always win. They don't struggle, they don't go through adversity, they don't get their ass kicked enough times, they don't scratch and claw. Like, it's just given to them. Like, they have a pretty, you know, easy time. So that's like the essence of wrestling. Like, you tell that story. You have Cody run through the bloodline. You have him, you know, go through Solo, go through the Usos, go through Paul Heyman, and then also go through Brock. And then when you get to, you know, the final boss, and you beat the final boss, it is so amazing. Like, that arena, you know, if it happens at SummerSlam, when Cody eventually gets the belt, is going to be so cathartic for a lot of people. But the thing is, a lot of people are so impatient. They just want it now. And then the same people that love Cody, they're going to say, oh, I'm bored. He win it for a while. They don't do much with him. And then they want the belt off of him, kind of like with Drew McIntyre. He got the belt. People were happy to see him win the belt, even though it was, you know, in a gymnasium full of no people. But he got the big win, and then people were tired of him. People were just, yeah, it's about that time. He needs to drop the belt. So I kind of feel like it's going to be the same thing if Cody were to win it. And then a few months later, or maybe like 6 months later, people get bored. And it goes to what, you know, Daniel Bryan and on SmackDown, when he did the whole fickle promo, because wrestling fans, people are fickle. They want the thing now, and then when they get it, they're never really satisfied. They want the next big thing. They're never satisfied with just, you know, enjoying the moment. And I think that if Cody would have won, you know, at Mania, I mean, we wouldn't have been upset, but then eventually we would have, you know, we would have gotten that same feeling with McIntyre and a lot of the people. So people gotta be patient. People gotta remember Spider-Man. People gotta remember, you know, the hero's journey, because people tend to forget. People tend to have amnesia, guys.
Right.
And we gotta understand that you gotta tell a story. You gotta have them go through adversity. The way that they did Cody last Monday night, I didn't agree. And then the reasoning for why Brock just destroyed Cody didn't make any sense. And then Cody coming out smiling, I was like, no, like there's no psychology. You know, they're trying to explain it away, and it's like, we're smarter than that. we know, like, this doesn't make any sense. What was you gonna say? Yeah,
well, with Cody, it's just like ever since Mania, he's been like surprisingly chill about losing. Like, I'm not expecting to come out and be like Ultimate Warrior, but like show some anger at least. Like, just him coming out to Roman and just saying, "Can I have a title match, please?" Like, I mean, he didn't do it like that mainly, but like it was just like, you know, I want a title match right now, and Paul's just like, no, like, not tonight, not Puerto Rico, not Detroit. Like, he's basically just naming every like arena they're gonna be at. But I don't know. I just want some more fire to him, and not just like this like surprisingly chill Cody Rhodes. And then same thing with Brock. Like, Brock beats the fuck out of him, and he's like, Brock, I want you, and I'm gonna hunt you down. It's like Brock's like, yeah, sure.
Right.
But Justin, what are your overall thoughts on, just how Cody has been post WrestleMania?
So far so good. So far so good. So far so good. It's only been 2 weeks. It's kind of hard to judge, where this is going. It's only been 2 weeks, so we'll see. We'll see. Ask me again in a few weeks for that particular question.
Where do you think this whole Brock thing is going? Like, if you had to theorize, like, why do you think Brock came out and attacked Cody?
They're not going to give there's no good reason why Brock attacked Cody. They can make any reason that they want to say. There's no good reason why Brock attacked Cody. It doesn't really play into line. It doesn't really make any sense. You know what I mean? It's like, why would Brock be mad at Cody? Oh, the WWE is using some excuse. Oh, because he had a higher spot than me on the card. Meanwhile, this is the same Brock Lesnar that didn't care. If he was going last, he wanted to go on first, so he get the hell out of there. So that doesn't fly for me. So, but
Yep.
He's gonna end up being Brock Lesnar. And you had to have Cody go up against someone else, because if he were to go up against Roman immediately, he was gonna lose again, most likely, before the 1,000 days.
Right.
And so this is just time between him and Brock before he gets right back to Roman. I can see them maybe having even 2 matches, splitting it. Maybe Cody loses this first one and he wins the second one, then they just move on from there. You know what I mean? But there's really nothing to judge this off of right now. It's only been a couple weeks. I just don't like the reasoning that WWE is telling us the reason why Brock turned on Cody. That reason doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
I don't buy that. Like, for Brock, like, I know Jeff Littman tossed around the idea of, like, Brock can say, I needed you to win because, I can't, wrestle, Roman anymore, and you lost, you failed yourself, and you failed me, so. But then again, I think that would kind of make Brock kind of look like a little bitch.
No, that'll look stupid too as well. So how come you didn't attack Riddle? How come you didn't attack Kevin Owens? How come you didn't attack Sami Zayn previously?
Right.
Right. That makes no sense at all. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just a lame way. Now, although I'm in favor of the feud, just the creativity to get to the feud is retarded. 100%.
Well, we're going to find out Monday, supposedly, because Brock's going to be on Raw. And just like...
Whatever he's going to say is not going to make... There's... Like I said, I'm for the feud, but whatever they're going to say, it's not going to make any sense. It's just going to be... That's it? Like you got mad over that? You attacked him for that? You know what I mean? Unless if he brings up something... between him and Dusty Rhodes that happened back in the day that we don't know about. But I'm just saying. Right. I'm just saying. I don't want to hear anything about Dusty, but if there's something that happened in real life, I will accept that. However, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, right?
But that would just be lazy, though.
If it really did happen, would it be lazy if it's something that it really did happen in real life that we just didn't know about?
But, like, again, just the whole thing about we're going to use Dusty in another storyline.
Right. No, I agree. I agree, but if it's something that's playing into something that happened in real life and they're tending to use it, then, again, I'm not fond of it, but I will understand why. Like, okay, this happened in real life. And he's telling the story. We don't, again...
Well,
I'm just bringing up right. Things that, regardless, wherever they say, it's not gonna fucking. I'm not gonna be fucking satisfied with. I can tell you that right now.
Well, also because Dusty didn't work for the company. Well, he came back to the company in 2005, and Brock left in '04, and then when Brock came back in 2012, Dusty was in developmental. So their paths didn't really cross. So I think historically wise, it wouldn't really make any sense. That's what I'm saying. But yeah,
it's just a lot of just the whole thing didn't make any sense. Like the reasoning for why he attacked Cody, it just didn't make any sense. Like I was like, it would have made more sense if they would have had, if Cody and Brock would have had the match, and then after the bell rings and Cody goes in there with Solo and goes a few rounds. And then when Brock gets, try to tell him, hey, like, tag me in, and then he doesn't tag himself into the match. Then you go about doing the beatdown, but just doing that the way that they did, like it was telegraphed. And yeah, not everything that's telegraphed is a bad thing, but it's just we knew where it was going. Like we knew something was just sus from the word go with it, and the reasoning for why Brock attacked Cody, like WrestleMania spot and whatever. It's like no, like Brock doesn't care. He wants to be in and out. If he's not main eventing, then he wants to be the opening match so he can get the hell up out of there. Like he don't be staying backstage, during the shows. Like he's one and done. He's in and out. So just the reasoning and the psychology of it didn't work for me. And then bringing Dusty into it, he is a pivotal part. But I think just harping on Dusty and bringing up Dusty all the time, it kind of diminishes Cody. Because at the end of the day, Cody has to stand on his own with his own name. Like he has some he has good star power. But if you just latch on Dusty every single moment, then who is Cody Rhodes at the end of the day?
Right.
He's just Dusty's son at the end of the day. But we need to know Cody's story. We need to, and just all this. I'm hoping at the end of the day, the result is at SummerSlam, Cody wins the belts. And he goes through Brock, he goes through the bloodline, and goes through Roman and wins. But and Justin's right. It's just been 2 weeks, so we wait and see. But with who in charge and that damn mustache, I'm not really trusting. I'm just not really trusting the process, because you never know. You probably Vince will have Cody win at some pay-per-view, and then have him. You never know, and forgive us if we have PTSD, because Vince has done this. It's not the first time he's done a lot of things he's done. It's a pattern, so that's why I'm like, I can't really be optimistic when the person in charge, and then you got the element of the merger with UFC and WWE. So there's a lot of like moving parts, and we don't know like what could happen. Like anything can happen between now and SummerSlam. And they probably have Roman go until next Mania. Like that, things like that can happen, and I hope that eventually Roman does lose, but I don't know. I'm hoping that Cody wins at SummerSlam, and things start to make a little more sense, and get back on track.
Speaking of making sense, Eva Marie is in constant talks with WWE. When WrestleZone asked if we could see Marie back in WWE one day, the 38-year-old star remained optimistic that it could happen. She said, "Of course. The door is always..." I'm not going to talk like that. I'm sorry, guys. The door is always open. I mean, we're in constant talks. When I originally left, I was filming my first lead action movie, so the door is definitely open. One of those things that is always open. I'm definitely down to always cause some trouble and stir up some things, that's for sure. If this fucking bitch comes back,
she always mentions this. I mean, to me, this story is not really much of a story because she always kind of makes that tease, but it doesn't like really result into anything. So I don't think Nava would really want her back. She has no value to the company. Doesn't add anything. She's not a good wrestler. She's a very good sex appeal, right? And I think she'll probably be a good Val delay at best, but I don't even want to see her to be back to do that. So I'm not fond of seeing Eva Marie.
If this bitch comes back, I'm convinced that Vince is back in charge.
Well, he's back in charge already, but
I will be fully convinced. I will stop being optimistic, and I will say, okay, that's a Vince move. We're fucked.
Oh, no. You want an indication that Vince is back? Nia Jax comes back.
She did come back already.
Yeah, she... God.
Well, I mean, she's not like most girls, so, I'll give her that.
Yeah. That's what they say, right?
I don't know, just picture this scenario. They bring back Kairi Sane, because supposedly she's coming back. And then you hear Nia Jax's music, and it's like, Kari's like, oh, fuck!
Yet.
Kairi, we'll see if she does come back. I would love for her to come back for sure, but we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Kairi coming back.
Oh, yeah, I like Kairi. She still has a sick elbow drop.
Yeah, it's fabulous. That elbow drop is amazing.
Other news: Drew McIntyre supposedly is in a contract dispute with WWE, and he's apparently unhappy with creative and money, which I think is bullshit. Apparently, he signed a 2-year deal, but overall thoughts on Drew McIntyre?
None, really.
Hey, RJ.
What's up, RJ?
Yo.
What is happening? I was gonna say, well, the whole Drew McIntyre thing, I think that it has a lot to do with, playing like 4D chess here. I think with the merger, with the merger with, UFC and WWE, I think that, will come time to negotiate contracts, like, they're gonna be like, we're not gonna pay this. We're not gonna pay wrestlers, $1 million or $1.5 million or $2 million. Like, nah, we're gonna cut costs, because with a merger, a company will try their best to cut costs at every point. So these cushy, multi-year, 6-figure, 7-figure deals, no, like, probably only like a handful, like Brock, Roman, Cody. But I don't think everyone else is going to be, coming off, looking gravy with these contracts, because I know Endeavor is going to look at all these contracts. So there's some meat to this, but I don't know. Like, it could just be just the fact that Drew's just disgruntled, maybe because, he's not in the top spot. But I don't know. I could be talking out of my ass.
Yeah, not everyone could be the top spot though. Like I get that Drew really carried the pandemic or WWE. I get it, but like some of these wrestlers need to realize that you don't need to be in the top spot or going after a title for yourself to be successful in the company, or for you to be viewed as a top guy. So if you're not main eventing, doesn't mean that you're not a top guy. Right. Drew is a top guy. Look at a situation at WrestleMania, 5-star match, right? You know what I mean? Like, he needs to understand that not every situation is going to be ideal for him, and he just needs to realize that the opportunity will come back around for him to win the title again, and and carry a brand, and especially with the draft coming up again, and possibly of another title. The titles are being split, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
that will give him more opportunity there. So, his time will come. His time will come for sure. He just needs to chill out and, not be a whiny bitch about it.
Yeah, basically, don't have a cow, man.
don't have a cow, man. I think Drew's gonna stay put. Because at the end of the day, like, he is a top guy for the company. I mean, being a top guy doesn't necessarily mean being in the main event of WrestleMania like every single year. It's just you're in big, high-profile matches, like the match that he had at Mania with Gunther and Sheamus was a high-profile match, and it even got 5 stars from Uncle Dave, if you can believe that or not. And
5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars, RJ. Jeez, welcome to the show, RJ.
5 stars.
5 stars.
I did want to go over the star rating.
I have them right here. We can talk about that. But RJ, what's your whole thoughts on the Drew McIntyre situation?
I agree with what everybody said. Honestly, I think Drew needs to take a step back and realize that not everybody can be the top guy at once. Especially, I mean, this ain't the Attitude Era where they were playing hot potato with the belt. I kind of like that because it made for more exciting things, but it could do long-term damage to maybe one's legacy or maybe title reign or something like that, if you want to be nitpicky about that. So I definitely get the argument of that, but that we're not in those times anymore, and Triple H loves his long title reigns. Vince, Triple H, they love their long title reigns. So Drew's going to have to wait his turn. And I think Drew also needs to sit back and let all this stuff with Endeavor and in the WWE, let all that smooth over. Let them figure some stuff out. Then they'll probably come to you with the numbers that you at least want or close to it, I mean, Drew hasn't said anything publicly about it, which is, that's the pros way to do. Not to go online and bitch about it, and he hasn't done that so far. So hopefully they can figure something out, because I like McIntyre. I think McIntyre definitely resurrected his career from the last time he was in WWE. So I like what he's been able to do, how he's been able to retone and redefine his body, and just retone his in-ring skills, and just become this beast of a dude. He's really turned it around for himself, and it'd be a shame to let him walk out the door. So hopefully they can figure something out, though.
Right, because like with the draft coming up, and Triple H apparently he wants to split up the titles, and he wants to preferably get rid of the Universal title. There's that possibility of McIntyre could really benefit from it. Like, he could maybe even be a champion on one of the shows. So,
bro, there's a lot of guys that could be benefiting from another world title, and that was my whole argument last year. Remember?
Yeah.
I was like, do not put the titles together, because there's going to be a lot of guys out there in the cold, not sniffing a world title, and that's another year their career is wasted. Bobby Lashley, over like a motherfucker on Monday. He was the most over thing on that show. They were going fucking goo gaga over Bobby Lashley the other night. I'm like, and this guy's not sniffing a world title? What the fuck is wrong with this picture? So, I mean, and that's one of many examples.
Right, he could easily be. Lashley is easily a world champion. McIntyre is easily a world champion.
Right.
Our boy Cross, I mean, he could easily be a world champion.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and I know, I'll take responsibility. I was all for unifying the titles, and then after I saw what was going, like the first few months as Roman as a unified champion, I'm like, this is not good. Like, we need to get those titles off of him.
It's not
good. I can already hear your voice in my head, RJ. Someone's got to hold you accountable, Drew.
Somebody's got to hold you accountable.
Every time we talk about Roman's unified titles, Carmelo Hayes, I can just hear your voice in my head.
God damn it, Drew! What did I tell you?
Someone's got to hold you accountable.
But it's all good, though. I mean, it's all good, though, man. Because I mean, certain people have different perspectives and stuff like that. And a wise man once told me one time, you might not have to agree with everybody's opinion, but you have to respect it. Especially if somebody's coming with the full-blown feeling of why they feel a certain way. And you came with why you felt the way about both of those points. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I can't be mad at that.
Yeah, if you're
Nobody can be mad at that.
if you're man enough to admit that you're wrong, I mean,
Mhm.
that's good. I mean, I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, me too.
but speaking of wrong,
I'm just not eating any hats, okay? I'm not eating any hats. Nobody tells me to eat a hat. Please.
why would you eat a hat? That just sounds. That
It sounds weird, right?
It sounds weird.
If I'm wrong, I'll eat my hat. It's old, stupid Southern South Carolina joke.
I've heard the term, yeah. But speaking of eating their hat, Dave Meltzer. I'm doing a lot of weird segues tonight. Dave Meltzer releases star ratings for WrestleMania. So for night 1, Austin Theory versus John Cena, he gave that a 2.25.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Given what it was.
Yeah, it was very much a by the numbers match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's fine. I mean, what do you expect out of the Hollywood aging John Cena?
Right, which I think, I don't know if maybe Cena, I don't want to say he was phoning it in, or maybe he just couldn't do too much because maybe he was filming another movie, but I thought he could have done more. That's just my opinion. But the match did what it needed to do. The men's WrestleMania showcase got a 3.75.
Given the time for that match, which wasn't a lot, I think they did as excellent as they could in that match. I'm okay with that rating.
Yeah, same. I thought that match was really good for the time it was given.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Surprised the hell out of me, that's for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
like me and you said that night, Drew. Like it was. I mean, we expect a lot of those guys because all those guys are fucking good at what they do and everything like that. But just the time they were given to just go out there and explode, it was really good. We had fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul got a 4.5.
Definitely
Very
deserved.
good match. I think it's too high, though. I think it should be like a 4 at most.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Trish Stratus and Lita and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control got a 2.75.
Sure. I mean, I don't have anything to add.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Trish's titties probably should have got at least a 5-star rating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were holding up with their life.
But you know, Dave Meltzer, titties. He's anti-titties, so.
Ew. Like
Kenny Omega had
give me
better-
flips.
Kenny
Give me
Omega had
flips.
better titties.
And they're free. They're out bouncing around.
You know who's got the ass of the year? Kenny Omega.
Oh, God. Jesus.
The most handsome wrestler of the year, Kenny Omega. The wrestler I'd totally have sex with if I was gay or a woman, or just because. Gee Willikers, it's Kenny Omega.
I'll let him give me the one-winged angel any day. 7 stars.
6 stars. 6.5 stars.
That cum shot was 10.5. Oh, man.
Oh
Meltzer
my!
got to stop. Meltzer got to stop, man.
Yeah, stop. Rey Mysterio and Dominic got 4 stars.
It should have been a little higher, I think.
I would easily give that 5 stars, but that's just me.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Everything surrounding that was perfect. Between the entrances, the stuff in between the match, the storytelling of the match. You could argue it could be a 5-star. But since he gave it a 4, like, I mean, anything higher than a 3, I agree with. You know?
Okay.
I'll probably give it a 4.5 at tops for that match.
All right.
Yeah, 4.5. Yeah, 4.5, 5 stars. Pretty much around that ballpark.
I mean, maybe deduct some points for showing Auschwitz footage in Dominic's intro.
Good Lord.
To which, at the beginning of Passover week, WWE had to apologize for it. We had no idea that was in there. Sure, you didn't.
Well,
Hey,
we all know who's the first to go when they do cuts.
but
Yep.
they don't know hard time like Dominic.
Dom.
If
I'm
it-
telling you, man, it's this kid, man. I'm telling you, everybody was on Hook's nutsack like a couple years ago, and just burying this kid in the process. But who's the man now? I mean,
Dom.
shit. Dom.
Scumbag Dom.
His wrestling skills aren't up there. They ain't magnificent or anything like that. But he's still a kid, still trying to grow in the biz. But at least we're seeing an evolution of Dominic Mysterio as a character, whereas Hook is the same note, same this, that, and the other. And I like Hook. Personally, I like Hook. But as far as, Dom is leaps and bounds ahead of him right now. More high-profiled. Like I said, has evolved. And he's continuing to get better. He's heading in the right direction, whereas Hook there is just treading water.
Floundering. I agree, and I like Hook also to piggyback on that. Like, for a lot of crap that I gave Dominic in the beginning, I felt like he could have benefited from being in NXT for like a little while, and I think that could have been a thing, but I guess when you're the father of Rey Mysterio and you got kind of that charisma and he really and also being around with Judgment Day and all that, Edge and Cole, I think that being around those people helped Dominic with his character, because not everyone needs to be a 5-star wrestler. I think that if you have a good character, you can go leaps and bounds in the industry, because you got a character. People want, and this kid is getting nuclear heat.
Oh, man.
His heat is, I
on
love
fucking
that.
Friday? Oof, I love that.
Yeah.
Like, nuclear, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Like, you don't even hear, like, the only time you hear that is like with like MJF, like with Roman, but you don't hear that often. Like, you don't really hear like genuine like, we hate you, we wish you get your ass kicked more. He got his ass kicked already, but we want him to get his ass kicked more. And to me, like, you can't. You can try to duplicate it, but it's in you. If it's in you, it's in you. You got it, and that's why I gotta give props to Dominic. Just for his work and the fact that he's had the right people in his corner. And it's sad because Hook, like, I was like, yo, this dude has a look. He can wrestle, but it's just the same thing. And I think he'll benefit. If he went to WWE and he went to the, Performance Center and worked on his character, like, he can be something. Like, he has everything but that last piece, which is just, a little bit of charisma, character work, but who's got to wait and see. But Dominic, props to Dominic.
I mean, I really want this gimmick to continue.
Yeah, me too.
Just the little scumbag. I don't want it to end anytime soon. I know John Draper had like the best idea and it had me dying. Like, what if like for Dom's community service they put him in NXT? And he just goes down there with an ankle monitor.
Oh man!
like Ray has to bring him down there. He's like, for community service, the judge said that if he comes down here in NXT, he'll take a little bit off his sentence. And you just see like Shawn Michaels like, but he was only in booking for like 3 hours. I know.
Oh man, he's gonna fucking fight Hank Walker. The fucking opening match. Man, I'm telling you, last year when I don't know if you guys remember that episode, they had Dominic go up against, I think, Cruz del Toro in a match.
Yeah.
In NXT. Dom was super over, man. He was super over. I mean, of course, it's not that hard with that Florida crowd.
They need to get the fuck out of the Performance Center, by the way.
Man,
yeah,
agreed.
I was great to see that, but
because that crowd sucks.
That crowd sucks
Doo-doo.
ass, man. That is not the same crowd that I was a part of once upon a time.
Yep.
It's really bad. But then again, those crowds back in the day, they kind of wanted Triple H to turn certain people like Bo Dallas and Baron Corbin. Like they started booing them because, hey, they wanted to see something else with these guys, which is boring. But now it's just the whole fickle shit. Now they're just really being really fucking fickle, and it's just ridiculous. But yeah, when Dominic did that one shot in NXT last year, like he looked like he was at home.
Yep.
Whereas in the main roster, he was still looking lost as a babyface. But now, oh my god, this kid, he's a highlight. He's a highlight for me watching these main roster shows, man. He really is.
Yep.
I mean,
him and Rhea together. I was watching the. Sorry to cut you off, Drew, but I was watching those little WrestleMania videos they were doing with him and Rhea. Just fucking great. Like they just fit each other so well, man. I love it. I don't want it to end anytime soon. And knowing my luck, just about any time I go to enjoy anything in WWE, they usually break it off.
Yep. Say that again.
It's too hot to break it off. If they do, they fucking suck. But I don't know. I was just having more ideas, like just like put Dom in a Scared Straight program.
Oh no! Who's gonna be the guy that yells at him, Sergeant Slaughter?
If fucking if New Jack was still alive, I would say New Jack.
Oh my god, that'd be great.
Oh god!
What the fuck up, Dom?
Shut the fuck up, Tom. Who could be? Wait a minute. I don't know if this guy is employed by any company or not. But another guy who's Latino, who could probably do it, and Justin, you might be able to back me up on this. You might know the guy. But Slice Boogie, he was in MLW. He's a part of when they tried to reboot LAX again with him and my man there, Radioactive Poppy or whatever.
Yeah, he'll be perfect for that.
Yeah, he'd be perfect for that, dude. Like, if anybody heard this guy talk, like, he talks like an old school fucking Puerto Rican badass gangster, bro. Like, he's got it in him. I think that would be perfect for him. Especially since at NXT, they love when they do cursing promos and they just bleep it out. Like, I think that'd be fucking great. That'd be perfect. I think Ice Boogie would be perfect for that.
Just have fucking oh fuck, what's his name? Justin's boy, Von Kali. Just throw him in a cell with Kali. Throw him in a cell with him and just have a bandana on him. It's like, this is your new cellmate.
Oh shit.
And then he just comes up and starts rubbing his shoulders. You see Dom. I've learned my lesson.
And then Von Wagner just whispers in his ear, "Come Tuesday."
And all of a sudden,
he'll be like, "Come Tuesday, come," and he'll just say "come" after that. Like, okay.
and then you just have to add it. You have to fucking add Dijak in there somehow.
The world's greatest detective.
He'll say, "Feast your eyes. Here's my semen."
Dijak goes up to Dom. "Conjugal visit, Dom. Your mother's here." "But why would it be my mom?" "You're gonna watch. Feast your eyes."
That's a different version of Justice Served.
Yeah, of course.
Don't you have a sister?
Don't you have a fiance?
Ooh. Georgia. Oh, there's so much you can do with this. All right, let's
gold
I
mine.
have to give your mother, your fiance, and your sister some pain so that you could be immortal.
Georgia.
Hijack.
All right, let's move on. Let's get back to the topic. Speaking of mommy, Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair got 4.75.
Bullshit. Should have got 5 stars in my personal opinion. I don't know how everybody else feels.
That's 5 stars.
That's 5 stars for me.
Yeah,
that was the most physical women's match I've ever seen in quite some time. disqualifying Japan, that had to be one of the most physical American women's matches I've ever seen in a long time, man.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the most physical American women's matches ever. It should have been 5 stars. Yeah, I think it should have definitely been 5 stars. Like no more than that, but yeah, it should have been 5 at least, though.
Yeah, there wasn't enough. There wasn't a Riho. I think that was the problem.
I don't think there was enough flips.
No.
Well, and funny thing, Rio's never had a 5-star match, so.
And I don't think Rhea's not a dentist. I think that's probably the problem.
Here we go.
She's not a dentist.
We all know you make double stars when you got no teeth or you got shiny teeth.
Exactly. There you go. The Miz and Pat McAfee got 1.5. I wouldn't really count that as a match.
Yeah, that was a nothing.
Don't you want to speak on that shit?
Yeah.
I do want to speak on Maurice's rack, though. My God, that's 7 stars.
Jesus Christ! Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
That 8 stars.
Hey, we don't want to invoke Dijak's name, okay?
Maurice's rack is definitely 2 stars.
I get you. I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
The kids might not know what you mean, but we know what you mean. The main event, Usos and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn got 5 stars.
Agree. I gave that the match of the night for night 1. Definitely a 5-star match.
Yeah, 5 stars. Yeah.
Everything you want, storytelling.
For the moment,
right.
The storytelling. It was a slow burn all the way up until the climax of the match and the finish and the story that was being told. It's definitely a 5-star match.
Agreed. Night 2, Brock Lesnar versus Omos got 3 stars.
Okay, now I said this last week. Like, this match surprised me. It wasn't a 3-star match, though. I may give it maybe like 2.5 at most. Maybe
2.5.
1.5.
It was what it was.
Yeah, it was what it was. Like I didn't hate it. I didn't love it either. It was just there.
It's kind of there. Yeah.
And that's all right. I mean, to me, what do people want? People want Omos's big ass to be doing flips. Like, come on! Like, we gotta look at who we dealing with here. I'm not hard on this dude.
I wanted Brock to do a 1-winged angel, RJ.
Oh, God, good grief! If he would have did that, Brock Lesnar is the fucking. He's really unstoppable.
And I wanted him to do his gun hands and just point to Omos.
Oh God! Pew pew
Pew pew.
Do a little dance. Do a V trigger. Oh man, that'd have been great. He would have had to change his pants a couple of times after seeing that.
2 times.
Oh, 2 times. He would have did a double tap in his drawers. Would have been over.
It's like if I ever see Brock Lesnar do a super kick, like, that'll just be the end of everything. Man.
Lesnar.
The greatest wrestler of today, Brock Lesnar. Women's WrestleMania Showcase got 2.5. That match was fucking garbage.
Yeah, that shit. That to me was the worst match of the entire card. Like, worst real match. I'm not counting like the fucking Shane McMahon bullshit. Like, that was like the worst real match of the card. And that should have been like 1 star, 1.5.
Yeah, I agree with Justin. I think Dave was being a little generous there, honestly. For my money, my vision, I think Dave was being a little generous.
Yeah, that was easily like a 1 star. The match was bad. Just BAD bad.
Piss break match.
bad.
Not even a piss break, a shit break.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get hard.
That's RJ's biggest problem. Is like, if I can at least get hard, I'll give it maybe another star. But this match just leave me flaccid. God damn it! I hate this match.
God damn it! Shayna Baszler hopping around with her toes out. I don't want to see that. For fuck's sake.
God damn it! Fuck's sake!
Fuck's sake.
These bitches are leaving me flaccid. God damn it! Can I at least see one titty? Just one titty.
Which one, the left or the right? Because it doesn't matter.
Just one of them. God damn it! What the fuck? Back in my day, we had some simple nip slips. We can't even get one. God damn it! These fucking flat-boarded bitches. Next is Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Intercontinental title match. Got 5 stars.
Possibly one of the best Intercontinental Championship matches of all time. It's definitely a 5-star match. There's really no dispute with that. It really, to me, if it got like 5 1/4 or 5 1/2, I wouldn't been mad at that either. So
yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, that match was amazing, and for the first time in a while, the Intercontinental title, in Gunther's run has been taken seriously, and I'm happy about that.
The Intercontinental title hasn't been this important since the 90s.
Yeah.
Correct? I mean...
Definitely... Wait a minute, hold on. Like, maybe the early 2000s, when Benoit and Jericho was going at it, Angle, when those guys were mixing it up for it, I will say that. I'll defend that era, too. But outside of that, you're correct. You're correct. I mean, this belt is... And I grew up an Intercontinental Championship guy. So it's great to see where the championship is now. And Gunther is definitely the catalyst behind that. But also the opponents that he's been given to. All those guys that he's been able to have good to great wrestling matches with definitely help, put this reign in a good spot. So definitely happy to see that.
Absolutely.
Gunther has the most 5-star matches in WWE history out of anybody. He has 5 5-star matches, 3 of those being NXT UK matches, I believe, and 2 of them being the one he had with Sheamus at Clash at the Castle and the WrestleMania one.
Mm-hmm. So 2 Intercontinental Championship matches, 3 NXT UK Championship matches.
Well, the match he had with Dragunov that was a takeover, right?
Yeah, that was for the title. That's with the Dragunov winning.
Okay, so there you go.
And the other one was on NXT UK TV for the title.
Yeah, the other one was Tyler Bate versus Walter, right?
Yeah, correct. For the title.
Yeah, that match is fucking amazing, bro.
Yeah,
I remember.
I think out of all the 5-star matches, I think that's the best one.
Yeah, for people who are not sold on Tyler Bate, go watch that match.
I like Tyler Bate.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying in general, like for anybody that doesn't like him, that's not sold about him, doesn't understand why he's there, this, that, and the other, who's still questioning that, go watch that match. That match can make you a believer of Tyler Bate. And if it doesn't, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
I got nothing.
Oh, man. Yeah. And I love that finish of that second Walter and Dragunov match. That was the way Dragunov beat him was so fucking believable. Him chopping him in the throat and in the back of the neck, that was just that's believable. If you can't breathe, you can't fight.
Right.
So I thought that was great. But yeah, Walter, man, everybody was so up in their drawers about the name change last year, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, he could have an awesome name, an awesome theme song, but get called up to the main roster and get pushed like shit. And look, a year later, this man is handing out 5-star matches, Intercontinental Champion. He's got his squad back.
He's lucky that Vince wasn't there for 8 months too, so that kind of aided that.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah, because it could have easily went down south.
Yeah, for sure.
If Vince was still there, could have easily gone down south.
Right, and just what else can we say about Gunther? Has already been said. He's really fucking good, and that's a star. Like, that's definitely a star. I mean, I know that term gets tossed around like real like a lot. We're really liberal with the term star and over. Gunther is a star and he's over. Like he's a megastar. You know, that's a guy you put in front of Brock and it's gonna look good. It's a guy you can put in front of Roman and it's gonna look good. So
also SummerSlam matchup him and Brock. So
and I'm still surprised that Keith Lee still has that tweet up. That poor Walter Keith.
more like poor Keith Lee.
Yeah.
Keith Lee lost tonight, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, we all knew he was gonna lose. I mean, I wasn't really surprised by that.
Keith Lee looking more and more like a '90s television dad.
Like a freaking
no, he looks like a fucking dejected wizard from fucking Hogwarts.
Oh my!
Oh, Mia.
I was trying to work for Severus Snape, but he said I was too polite.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, like, I mean, he's still one in life, so he's fucking Mia Yim. So
for now.
And what for now? For not. I mean, at least he did. Shit.
Imagine if she cheats on him and he's like, "Well, I suppose I could have been better in most areas."
Suppose his dick was better than mine, or excuse me, his penis.
I suppose I've been rather flaccid as of late.
My weight has been out of control. I have to play ICU with my own penis.
I need to change my finisher from the BBC to the BLC. Big little cock.
Jesus. I thought you were gonna say like bacon lettuce cock or something.
Or I mean the BBF is pretty good too. The big belly flop.
Yeah.
I mean that's still available.
I mean, I had sex with this hooker one night. I need to change my finisher from the BBC to the HIV.
Oh, you just got dark.
Now every time I pee, every time I urinate, my penis is just burning. It's just on fire. I don't understand why.
He just asked himself, why does it hurt when I pee?
Doctor, it seems as though when I make a wee, I get this burning sensation.
I guess his favorite video game system is Nintendo Wii.
Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, Wii.
I like how we're just making Keith going down a downward spiral. He's probably like the nicest guy ever.
Nah, Keith Lee is cool. Like, I know a lot of people that met Keith Lee. They say he's a cool dude, but I mean, last year, him making that was stupid, man. Like, is Gunther out here shining in main event in WrestleMania?
Well, let's be honest. At the moment, a lot of us were like, "That's a stupid fucking name change. What's WWE doing?" And he just tweeted that at the moment. So, I mean, I don't blame him for making that tweet because that's what a lot of us felt at the moment. At least I did, at least. You know what I mean? Like why the fuck they're changing his names from fucking Walter to Gunther? Like you know what I mean? It's fucking Gunther Stark, this fucking Nazi general, wherever the fuck it is.
What the fuck is with WWE Nazis? Like, Jesus Christ.
The whole Stark shit, like, yeah, when I heard about it, I'm like, oh god.
And then the Auschwitz thing and Dominic Central.
Looking back at it now, it's like he's like, look how wrong he is. You know, so you know, it is what it is, though. I mean, you know, he made the mistake. I guess you could call it a mistake now. Him going to AEW. I mean, he ended up becoming a tag team champion there. But to me, I don't see why a lot of people hate the Bearcat Keith Lee gimmick. I mean, yeah, like the names change is different, but at the end of the day, though, he was gonna be booked like a monster. You know what I mean? But like he just didn't see that vision, and he was like, okay, well, fuck, I'm just gonna leave, or you know, he just got released. So.
I think that's why he got released, because he was so resistant.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You want me to play an angry man? I'm not an angry man.
Yeah, but if he would have stuck with it, he will still be there in WWE today. And during Triple H's WWE, he would have at least had some type of, he would have at least had, I put it to you this way, he would have had a match against Roman. He would have had a one-on-one match against Roman. Of course, he would have lost, but like he would have had that moment at least. And
you're right.
So, go figure. Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's not wrong about that.
Moving on. Bianca Belair versus Asuka got 3.75.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. It wasn't as good as the other ladies match, so I'm fine with that rating.
Yeah, it wasn't as good, but it wasn't bad either, you know.
It was.
That's fair. That's fair. That's in the middle for me personally.
It was generic. Like it wasn't that good of a match personally, and Asuka's kind of like, to me, I think Asuka's kind of fallen off the cliff. Like she's lost a lot of momentum over the years, and like she came back with the killer clown gimmick at Rumble, and then the very next night it was like business as usual.
Lost a lot of momentum, like within her character or in ring.
I mean, she's still not terrible in the ring. She's very good, but it's just as far as her character goes, like she lost a lot of momentum because like when she came back, it was like, okay, that's an interesting gimmick. Like we're getting, killer NXT Asuka back, and ever since then, it's like, yeah, this bitch ain't winning anything.
Well, yeah, because of we know why. Vince fucking McMahon. That's why.
That's one of the things too. But it's just like you got all these guys and girls on your roster. Not all of them, but you got some people on this roster that's supposed to be killers. That's supposed to be dangerous people. How about let them display it? If these people were killers, let them go around killing people backstage. You want to know why I was excited to see Scott Steiner back in the day? Because we didn't know what the fuck he was going to do. Until he was yelling and standing over somebody, beating the shit out of him. You stupid son of a bitch. Come on, boy, get up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was exciting.
And then yelling transphobic remarks to them. No, that was Rick. Never mind.
When you put Beetlejuice in the Steiner recliner, yeah.
Yeah, like it. But it was predictable. It was fun. We didn't know what they were going to do next. You have guys like Cross. You got Asuka. You got all these people on this roster. Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey. That's dangerous people. But yet, no, they're not allowed to display how dangerous they can really be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, if you don't want to kill somebody else on the roster's momentum, hire extras. Have them beat them up.
Yeah,
Cross, I don't know, fucking crush some guy's neck with a goddamn one of those little scaffolding things like Brock Lesnar used to fucking do arm curls with. Like, do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not hard. It's not hard to get people to care about people. It's just that they forgot. They either forgot or they just don't care to.
A little bit of both. I feel like they don't care, but they just forgot because if they weren't the ones that created the character or built them up, then they're not going to do it. They're not going to trust it.
Yep.
And they're just not about taking risk. They're not about taking that chance. Like, I think if Asuka were allowed to just be a killer how she was in NXT, just going through the whole roster and then eventually getting the belt from Bayley, when she was in NXT, like, we want that Asuka back. The Asuka that didn't give a fuck. She wasn't dancing all the time. She would just go in there, just beat the shit out of you and just leave. And we don't see that. And Cross, same deal. Go out there, just choke someone out and leave. And, we get to see Scarlett. That's a little bonus.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And Shayna Baszler, I remember she was a killer. She was a killer in NXT. And then she came up to the main roster. I'm just like, what happened? Like,
she had a good start.
Yeah.
I mean, it was weird biting Becky Lynch's neck, but okay, fuck it, I'll take it. And then they looked like they were going back to that the end of 2021. Remember when y'all was talking about Eva Marie earlier? She took out Eva Marie, took out Nia Jax, she took out somebody else. And it was like, all right, we're going back to that. And then the draft happened, and then she was back to being Sonya Deville's sidekick and this, that, and the second class player. And it's like, well, shit. Okay, what the fuck are we doing now? So, yeah, man, I just think that They need to go back to letting dangerous people. If we're supposed to believe these people are dangerous, let them show how dangerous they can fucking be. And like I said, if you don't want it to be at your other roster members' expenses, then that's why you bring in extras. You bring in extras because we don't have to see those people again. We don't have to see those people again. So have Shayna Baszler break a girl's arm. Have Cross, I don't know, choke somebody out and maybe insinuate that he cracked his neck or some shit like that. I don't know, something like that. That make people go, okay, okay, dog, yeah, he's dangerous.
I mean,
even if they're not gonna get outright booed, at least a little cringe in the crowd. Oh, something like that.
Right.
I mean, it's like what you do with Mark Henry when you were doing the Hall of Pain thing. Like, just have him go around and just fucking destroy people, not just wrestlers, but like, hey man, you got my shot, and then he just fucking power slams him through a fucking table. Like, just do that with Cross. Like have Cross do like what was that?
Remember when Mark Henry threw that pyro guy?
Yeah, that's like he just throws him.
Fucking great.
Same thing with Cross. Like, Cross can be doing a vignette and then something goes wrong and he's like, who's in charge of this vignette? You. What's your name? Jason? Jason, let me show you what it's like to piss off the killer. And then he just chokes his ass out and you can RJ said, you can insinuate that he broke his neck.
Yeah.
Nobody messes with my shot. Do something like that. Just make him just fuck up people. Where he's
Scarlett's just standing behind him with this orgasmic look on her face.
I would love that. But, Cross is like, since I can't be on TV, I'm just going to have to make a name for myself. And then he just starts destroying everybody, like jobbers, people in catering, fucking producers. Goes in the fucking production truck and just starts fucking shit up.
Yeah, we're bullshitting around, but that could actually work.
Yeah.
Because if he does it long enough, people can identify with that. And what happens when people identify it with it? It starts to get a reaction.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, boom. Damn, Drew, you just came up with something for the dude.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Yeah, I can work in creative. Who knows? Next is The Miz and Snoop Dogg. That got a star.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That was nothing. That was just filler.
Sweaty Shane.
I think they knew that we needed break, maybe a break or so. Yeah, they threw that on.
Yeah. Something else got broken and torn too. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Shane! Oh my god.
Sweaty Shane tore his quad.
As soon as he went down, me and my brother looked at each other and said, "Oof."
Yeah.
He's never gonna do his on ramp dance again. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's like the doctor. I'm sorry, Mr. McMahon, but you can never show anyone the money.
Oh God! Oh God! That was my life's calling. Oh my God! I don't know what to say.
Nobody will never know that the money is here.
I was. I'll say this when we move on to the next thing. Next star rating, but when that happened, I was on Discord with friends of mine, and they said, "Oh, is this a part of the? Is this a work?" I'm like, "It's not work." Like, dude, he tore something. So Snoop and he improvised, and he just punched. I think the punch that the Miz got by Snoop Dogg, and then the just hideous looking people's elbow was entertaining enough for that. For Snoop Dogg making me laugh and entertaining me, I give that 5 stars. But just the whole thing was just negative 5 stars. But just for him doing that, just for the shits and giggles, just 4 or 5 stars. Like I got a chuckle out of that. But that was just really cringy. I was like, oh God, that wasn't supposed to happen, and he's supposed to had been in the match longer. But again, can't be doing the how old is Shane? In his 50s?
He's 50 now, I think.
He can't be doing that. He's not a spring chicken. You can't show people the money like that anymore.
No,
you can't show people the money anymore like that.
Well, he probably won't anymore.
Yeah.
You can't be a McMahon unless you've torn your quad at least once.
Right.
But Vince probably shares the joy in the back. It's like, oh, that's my son. I'm so proud of him.
Shane. Now all we need is a paralegal, and he'll be right there. I've been trying to get Paul to do that for years, but he said no. He actually likes fucking his wife.
Oh boy.
He's not the only one.
I was trying to fuck his wife for a storyline, but that didn't go well.
Right.
Dijax just enters the room. Yeah, trust do my job. It's my job. Giving your wife this hot justice.
Dun dun.
Oh boy.
Open wide.
Feast your eyes. Next is Edge versus Finn Balor, Hell in a Cell. That got 3.75.
Yeah, I agree. It could have been better, but the stoppage of the match and kind of hinder it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just create that ladder shot to Finn's head, like Edge don't miss. That motherfucker don't miss. I was like, ooh, I saw that live. I was like, oh god, like I thought he got a concussion, but Finn was just pouring out blood. I was like, okay, all right. And people were like, oh, like why they cut away? It's like he just got sliced open. Like, relax. And WWE when they're not showing color. I get it, but it did. It like that momentum kind of derailed the match just a bit, but I enjoyed the match. I did wish that that didn't happen, but again, this is wrestling. Like, that stuff is gonna happen. You truly never know. I think they didn't need the Hell in the Cell stipulation. In all honesty, I felt like it was just the setting. That they didn't do anything crazy except the coup de grace off of the from the side of the ladder that Finn Balor did. But that's it. I think that they could just have like a no holds barred match without the cell, and they could have maneuvered better. But that's just me. I think just the Hell in the Cell being at Mania. I think that visual, they wanted that visual, but I don't know. They didn't need the Hell in the Cell structure there, in my opinion.
And just like I was let down by the intros because the talk is that we're getting Gangrel possibly showing up, and then he put the kibosh on that in a recent interview. So we got Brood Edge in a weird Iron Man helmet, wherever the fuck that was supposed to be, and coming out to Slayer, which I didn't know that was Slayer. I was like, all right, I guess that's cool. And then I was hoping for Finn that we would get at least a more darker, I guess, take on the demon now that he's a heel. But it's like, no, we still got interpretive dancing demon. Come out in smoke. Ooh.
The only difference is he was making mean faces. You was checking that? He was the whole time.
Ooh, okay.
Sticking his tongue out the whole time.
He's got the bigger beard now. So that's supposed to be a little bit more sinister enough, Drew.
He came out the night before in a backwards baseball cap, so he's bad. He's bad guy Finn. Ooh, ah.
He's gangster Finn. He's coming out there with the purple around his neck. I know a lot of people. Like he doesn't fit Judgment Day and stuff like that, but I got to give Finn Balor his props, and I'm in the belief of that. I was kind of puzzled as to why he was in the Judgment Day to begin with, but he's having fun with it, man. He's having fun with it, so I don't mind him whatsoever. But that's pretty much it. This dude is living his fucking best gangster life, I guess. He is out there with the do-rag around his neck, just.
So what you're saying is, what you're saying is, you want Finn to come out next week doing the Crip Walk?
I mean, shit, bring back the Crip Walk. Fuck it.
It just comes out
since 2002.
Keep it gangster, dog. Keep it gangster.
That probably show Finn Balor's age, but yeah.
Ain't nothing to it. Gangsta Live made me do it.
Him and Damian Priest and Rhea do the Crip Walk around Dom. in a circle. Dom's just doing the Harlem Shake. Yeah, Dom's like, yeah, that's moves I learned in prison.
Fucking Dom. Hey Finn, can I get some of that Henny? No, this is for my dead homies.
Just watching out the ring. Oh man. So we need the Judgment Day to act like juvenile delinquents now.
Oh man, I wish Big Boss Man was still alive. We can add him to this.
Big Boss Man. Oh.
If you ever heard of done, yeah, I love that theme. But
Serving hard times.
he'll be serving hard times. Big Bubba.
Big Boss Man. Big Boss Man was the fucking man. I don't give a fuck what nobody said. Even in Attitude Era, his heel run. Boss Man was such a great heel.
Dun, 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 dun,
dun. Oh, that theme song was like, I like go back and listen to a lot of to the audience when he used to come out, bro. Boss Man used to get nuclear heat. Like when that first hits, people go, and then they just start immediately bowing him. It's fucking great.
I remember there was a bit before like the beginning of Raw where the corporation comes out and they're passing up PMS, Terry and Jacqueline and Meat, and he just goes past Terry and goes, "Move, bitch."
Oh man, Boss Man was that dude, bro. I'm sorry, he was. And the Big Boss Man, bro, like the way they were, like at that point in time, the way they were handing out belts, man, Boss Man could have been easily higher on the card, in my opinion. He was getting, and his production in the ring wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like he was embarrassing himself or anything like that. Big Boss Man, in my opinion, he was a serviceable big man. Like I put him in a category with Big Show and Kane. Like they're not the greatest, but they're serviceable big men, and that's what you need. Like I said, not everybody can be a Keith Lee or a Dijak, be super agile and do the moves of this, that, and the other. That's fine, but those guys worked like big guys too. Guys you had to fight underneath, guys you had to fear, and it worked. And I thought Boss Man could have. I'm call me crazy, but I thought Boss Man could have been a world champion during that time.
Yeah, problem.
I could have seen it. Yeah, I definitely could have seen that.
I mean, back in his heyday, like in the '90s, they put him in programs with Hogan, and Hogan loved working with Boss Man.
Yeah, he was a like I said, very very good, serviceable big man. He made you earn it. He made you earn it. Go back and watch a lot of his matches for everybody who's probably stuck on what we're saying right now, or what I'm saying at least. Like Boss Man made you earn it.
Yep.
Main event of night 2, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, got 4.5.
Yeah. It to me, it was a 5-star matchup until like the interference.
Up until the finish.
But the interference. So once the interference started happening, it kind of went down for me in the finish, and yeah, that kind of hurt it. Even though I understood the finish and, I understood why the finish happened, but it did hurt the match.
Right.
Yeah. I was enjoying the match. Like, that was the first time in a while. This match and the, IC title triple threat match, like, those two matches, I felt like, oh, crap. Like, you were paying attention to every fall. Like, you were hanging to every pinfall, because you thought, oh crap, like what if Roman loses? Like that was the whole the whole thing with the main event. So it was good until that point, but I mean, kind of makes sense with Solo getting involved, because the whole thing with Cody telling Solo that he wasn't ready. So that came into play there. And then, his story isn't over. Cody's story ain't over. It's just started. Just the way that's been going, left a sour taste in people's mouths, and some of it doesn't make any sense, but, it's not over. And I think that when we get to the finish line, hopefully, as optimistically as I can, because who is in charge. I do hope that Cody, again, like I said earlier, I hope he gets the W. But the match, I enjoyed the match. Like that match, I had no problems. I get why people were like sour on the finish. I get it, but you know, there's some story there. You know, with Cody telling Solo he wasn't ready. So there's that.
All right, and
Sokoa said, "I'm gonna show you who's not really ready."
Yep.
He popped her right in the throat.
Take it. No.
You wasn't ready for that, bitch. Now were you? Now what's my motherfucking name? Solo motherfucking Sikoa. Anyway, throw those ones in the sky, bitch.
That's just gonna be Solo. He's just gonna say pitch all the time. Who ready, bitch?
Motherfucking ones in the sky, motherfucker. Why are you so aggressive?
Oh,
yeah, man. I heard him cut a little promo at Wally Mania, excuse me, and that's what he told the fans. With the bloodline, put the motherfucking ones in the sky. Feel me.
Oh man, they're just waiting for that show to be. I think the Usos are just waiting for that show to be TVMA so they can just cuss all they want.
Yeah.
Just Roman be like, "It was, man. Yes, my tribal chief. There's too many bitches in the locker room."
Fuck all them bitches.
Oh man, but that was Dave's star ratings. The last bit of news I have on docket is Dark Side of the Ring will be returning this year on May 30th. I have the current episodes on docket. It will be Bam Bam Bigelow, Mike Awesome, Magnum TA, Chris Candido and Tammy Sitch, Sonny, Abdullah the Butcher, the Sandman, Marty Jannetty, I believe Junkyard Dog. They said 10 episodes, so currently that'd be 8, so I don't know what the other 2 would be. But those are the current episodes. What are your guys' thoughts?
Sounds good. Sounds very intriguing. I'm down.
Those sound good. Yeah, those sound interesting, especially the Sandman, Tammy's,
Tammy
Sonny.
Sitchin.
Yeah, I'm glad it's coming back though.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Why Sandman though? Because I mean, Sandman, as far as I know, is living a pretty happy life at the moment. So
yeah, but before all that,
right. Yeah,
plus he was in the original ECW and all the crazy stories that probably happened, and
Yeah, and plus we got to get to why he's living a happy life now.
Yeah, I get you. Jannetty's is going to be crazy.
Oh my God, we're going to mention all the Facebook posts. I fucked my daughter. What? Huh? Excuse me? Huh?
Yeah, I remember he was like talking shit about somebody, and he's all like, at the end of the post, he's like, "I bet you won't, ninja."
Just like he randomly makes a post about Sean. He's like, "Sean isn't gay. Sean likes fucking women." Like, okay, nobody asked, but okay.
Or, know that.
I might have killed a man in 1989 once.
Didn't he make a post about saving a child from like a burning fire or something like that not too long ago too?
Probably. I don't know. And then that same child showed up to my door, and then for a second I thought it was an actual child, but it ended up being a giant 8-foot tall creature from the Mesozoic area. I say, "God damn it, monster, what do you want?" And it says, "I'm gonna need about tree fitted." Ruben got the joke.
I got the joke. I've been watching South Park this time, so
oh man, that's gonna be good. Bam Bam should be good.
Yeah, that one should be good too.
Mike Awesome, ooh, that'll be rough. That's a guy who probably should have had a much bigger career. And then Candido and Sitch, that's just gonna be depressing.
Yeah, fortunately.
Yeah, Cornette's definitely gonna be on the episode.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna be on all of them. Maybe at the Sandman stuff, but Abdullah the Butcher should be nuts. Junkyard Dog, right?
They're gonna have that dude on there.
What dude?
What's his name? The Bloodhound Warrior. Whatever the fuck his name? What's his name?
Oh, Hannibal.
Devin Nicholson.
Hey.
You're gonna have him on there.
Oh my god.
His voice is so annoying. Good Lord.
Hey, did you hear that somebody was talking about you on the internet? You know about that? No. But that'll be that'll be a crazy episode. But yeah, that's Dark Side of the Ring this season. Justin, what were your topics that you had to do?
I really just have two, just to go over them real quick, because we cover everything else. Both from the world of Japan. Sonata, I gotta mention this. I gotta mention Sonata because I'm a huge Sonata guy. He won
My boy.
the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at Sakura Genesis. Yeah. So, goddamn, it's about time. That Sonata won. He did beat Okada. I don't know if this is gonna be like a short tower reign because sometimes New Japan likes to do these tower reigns that are kind of short. I don't see him. I don't see him going into now. If he goes into Wrestle Kingdom as champion, great. Yeah. But it's kind of crazy that he won the championship.
Very.
Yeah, but
New Japan's kind of known for doing that though. Doing the shock wins on the smaller shows. That's why I think it is going to be a short reign. I think he's going to hold it for like maybe 2 or 3 months tops, if even that. But I don't see him walking into Wrestle Kingdom as champion.
Yeah,
I would love that. I would love that personally because I love Sonata. Sonata's the man in my opinion.
The only thing I kind of wish that he didn't shave and he didn't change like his look or whatnot. But I understand why he did. But like, God, man, the look that he had was just fucking incredible, and he doesn't have it. But
I'm gonna miss the Cold Skull version of Sonata. I thought he was great in LIJ. He was really good, really good. And I guess Naito and Shingo, they definitely overshadowed him. So I guess he had to step out of the shadow and do his own thing now. So and I'm cool with that. That's fine.
Now, if he's champion for a couple months, that means he's gonna walk into Forbidden Door as champion. And I'm kind of wondering what kind of match he will have at Forbidden Door and against who, you know what I mean? That's gonna be
Sonata versus MJF does not sound good to me at all.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So that's a damn good, interesting question. Would they work the Ring of Honor champion against Sonata? Claudio, that could work.
Yeah, because I love Sonata and everything, but I just don't know if him being like a lot of the American fans, they don't know who he is. So,
right. So I would just put him against a worker. I wouldn't even put him against a guy like MJF.
Yeah,
because MJF will destroy him on the mic, and Sonata is Japanese. He ain't gonna go back and forth with MJF.
Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, like it's gonna be bad for him,
Yeah, I speak Japanese. That'll be about it.
Yeah, it's not gonna be good.
All right. And the other thing, just want to cover real quick. The first time in over 10 years, all 3 major Japanese promotions are going to do a pay-per-view together or show together. So All Japan, Pro Wrestling Noah, and New Japan, they're going to have their All Together Again show. That's coming up in June the 9th. So New Japan has a very big month in June because you have I was gonna say it's not Genesis. It's Jesus Christ, Dominion. They're gonna have Dominion. They're gonna have All Out. Not All Out. Jesus Christ, I'm losing at this point. I'm getting a little tired. All Out's another pay per view. They're gonna have a Forbidden Door, and they're gonna have this pay per view. So yeah, New Japan's gonna be busy for the next, in June for sure. So I don't know.
Yeah.
How. I don't know how they're gonna manage all three potential pay per views, and how to put on so one show, which is their second biggest show of the year. You got Wrestle Kingdom, then you got Dominion, which is like their SummerSlam or Royal Rumble or whatever, and then you got this all together again pay per view, and then you got Forbidden Door. So that's a lot of booking there for Rocky Romero and Gato. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Nice. And that sounds like that's the end of the show. That's all the topics we have. Great show, guys. We did 3 hours and 17 minutes. So we gave everyone their money's worth. But I want to thank everybody for coming on. I want to thank Justin, of course, my partner in crime on this show. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I want to thank Ruben for coming on.
Of course, anytime.
And RJ for making a surprise cameo. Mr. RJ.
No problem.
But I want to thank all you gentlemen for coming on the show. And go ahead and plug your stuff, boys. Whoever wants to start.
I'll just make mine quick. You guys know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, SpinebusterTees, SpinebusterTees.com. As you guys know, opened up my store over the last couple weeks, and so far so good. Got a lot of local talent here. I'll keep this hidden for now. There is one major talent that may come into the shop. But I'll just keep it at that. But it's a big deal. It's a major deal. I'll just keep it at that.
Ooh.
Not for like autograph sign or anything like that, but just to come visit. But even at that, it's still a fucking major deal. I'll just keep it silent for now. But yeah. Just follow me on Instagram and SpinebusterTees on Instagram. So yeah.
Guess I go. Follow me on the Twitters and the social medias. Mr. Ruben Prime on Twitter, Ruben Prime on TikTok, Ruben Prime Media on TikTok. Follow my podcast, Ruben Prime Podcast, and my After Dark show. I've been, in the works of, getting that started fairly soon. Knock on wood, by the end of the month. I just want to get episodes out before I put it out live. It's been something I want to do, and you guys inspired me, gave me an idea. Hey, where's Ruben Prime After Dark coming out? It's coming, and that ain't the only thing that's coming, but it's coming though. And again, Drew, I appreciate you having me on. Always, it's always fun. It's always a pleasure, and of course, with gotta give a shout out to the other gentlemen here, Justin, RJ. Appreciate you guys. You guys are entertaining as hell. Like you guys, Drew, everyone, listening. You guys are entertaining. I appreciate you guys. It's a fun show tonight.
Thanks, man.
Of course.
Absolutely. Right back at you guys too, man. You guys, the one thing I respect about this table right here is that we all bring something different and unique to the table, whether it's a business strategy or just a great aura about themselves and just comedy. There's always an element that one of us, are bringing to the table.
Oh, yeah.
And that's fun. That's fun. It makes for a fun, compelling show. And as an audience member, I can take a step back and I can enjoy a podcast like that where somebody's got something to give in a round table situation, kind of like we have right here. It definitely makes for a great show.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
And I love that, and I love it. I enjoyed this show thoroughly tonight. Kyle's saying fantastic show. Thanks, Kyle. And
Thanks, Kyle.
Just the fact that we can just make everything entertaining.
Oh yeah.
Just laughing our asses off, just going off topic. It's just, I love it. I look forward to these shows every week. I love it.
Awesome.
And RJ, plug your stuff, man.
You can follow me on Twitter at LilRJ Unlimited. Well, anything and everything that I say is unlimited. It has no limits whatsoever. So if I want to talk about fucking your moms, I'm going to talk about fucking your moms. That's it.
Not my mama. Jesus Christ, man.
She's not safe.
Jeez.
She's not safe. I'm going full Dijak mode. She's not safe. But you can follow me on there.
RJ, the MILF and GILF hunter.
I mean, you take motherfucker literally.
Yeah, you damn right, motherfucker James. That's right. You can call me that. But
RJ just shows up to a soccer game and he's like this, like looks just like scales everybody in the audience.
Kane, Veronica, you're coming home with me. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I got another jacket too.
Let me come in you if you want to live.
Just open your mouth and hold your tongue out.
If I'm not fucking your mom, then somebody dies.
Don't make me go postal in this beach. Oh man. But yeah,
Hit your mother with that mouth.
oh my god. Yeah, but you guys can follow me on Twitter. I'm quite busy on there. Sometimes I'll be catching certain notifications. Sometimes I don't, man. Everybody be tweeting at me at random times about basketball, this, that, and the other. It's crazy. But yeah, you can follow me on there. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. I do. I don't have, but I help run a 2K call league. If anybody's interested in that, it's on my YouTube channel at the RTJXX. I post just about every other day on there because we have like 4 different shows, so including one dedicated to tag team wrestling. So like,
nice.
If anybody's interested in that likes watching content creators come up with original concepts and have original characters and just like watching them grow and wrestle and this, that, and the other, I got you covered over there. So the RTJXX is where you can find that. You can follow the pages at CCW Culture on Twitter as well. And yeah, we'll follow you back. And we put up cards and stuff like that a day or two before each show. So you have plenty of time to go, ooh, okay, this person's in action. A lot of my friends on Twitter, a lot of my friends, here locally are part of the roster and stuff like that. If anybody wants to be a part of the roster, anybody who has the game, WWE 2K22 or WWE 2K23, make yourself, upload it, we'll get it, and you can be a part of the roster. And it's just as simple as that. So, yeah, just hit me up on Twitter. If anybody has me on Instagram, I don't open my Instagram to a lot of people. It's very private. But yeah, for those who have me on Instagram though, to hit me up on there too if you guys want to join. So yeah, we're taking in just about everybody as long as you got a good rep and just a good person, entertaining but not causing any real outside of kayfabe drama. Then we'll let you in. So it's just as simple as that.
All right, and where to find me?
Oh yeah, don't forget about the Patreon too.
Yeah, the Patreon. $5.
You can find me cutting jokes with Drew Yari. You can find Ruben Prime on there too.
Yes, sir.
Lending his great voice, to Drew Yari. So we all have a little piece of that Drew Yari puzzle there. You know what I'm saying? We're all in there. So
oh yeah,
pay the $5. It's worth it, man. We got a lot of in-depth shows from all of our perspectives and everything like that, and just very smooth. So yeah, if you guys want that, cough up the $5, man. You can't go wrong with that.
$5, people. It's just $5. Like we need $5. Like it's not that much money, people. It's like
not that much.
It's not like Subway where they claimed it was $5 footlongs, but it was like $5.50. Like this is literally $5, people. You will get your money's worth. I do a show with RJ, like he just mentioned, Revenge of the Savage Nerds, and we'll be doing one pretty soon because we got a lot of shit to talk about. Matter of fact, we got a nice little interesting topic for our next show. So look for that. I do a show with Ruben. It's called Culture Attack, where it's not even really a wrestling show. It's more of a pop culture entertainment / what's going on in the world kind of show. And Ruben lends his sexy ass voice to this show.
Yeah.
And
of course, I'm doing the Lord's work. I'm playing. I just want to, I always try to come on here when I can and, just talk wrestling. And then when we do the Patreon, it's just a way to, talk about the other stuff because, just got a lot. We got a lot to talk about with such little time. So it's like,
right.
Whenever I can get on with you guys, it's awesome. It's a gift.
Right. So Culture Attack will be doing a new episode next Monday.
Yes,
so look for that to drop. I do a show with Jeff Littman, Garden of Doom, which is a takeoff of his Garden of Doom show. And that show's usually monthly. It's usually just once a month because, Jeff has like a million shows to do. So whenever we can do that show, it's fun. So it's just me giving him a homework assignment and then him educating the masses, as only Jeff Littman could. So it's just $5 a month, people. It's just $5. All it is $5. Just cop up the $5 or RJ's gonna fuck your mom. Like I don't make the rules, people. That's just that's RJ's policy. That's in his new contract. When we renegotiated his contract, RJ was like, can I fuck somebody's mom at least once?
That's right. And if I can't get to her, Dijak will. Okay.
And if Dijak won't, Prison Dom will.
So it goes down in that order, just like that.
So,
she better hear me. You better hear me. You better hear me and hear me clearly. Cough up the $5.
And Ruben just wants some titties. He just wants some titties in his face. That's all he wants.
Yes, I want some titties. Yeah, I want some titties, and I want someone to sit on my face. That's all I want.
So that makes for a great night and a great morning.
Oh yeah.
Justin was simple. He just wants crack. Plenty of crack.
Motherfucker.
So CM Goov wants to know: are you going to pay Arn his money?
That's a good question. All my earnings are going to Arn.
We'll just keep it at that. We don't need Arn on our case anymore.
Yeah, please, for the love of God.
Oh man, but
pay this man his money.
But
I just won $750 on DraftKings tonight. So there you go.
Were you going for the Pelicans?
No, I don't give a fuck, man. I was playing fucking DFS fantasy. So $750 is gonna go to the shop, straight into the shop. So
nice.
Oh, you won $750. Justin.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I won $750.
I thought you said you lost $700. Oh, so, like you won.
No,
That's good.
won. No, I won.
Oh, cool, sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just going straight into the shop. Yeah, well, some crack too, but
Months of. There you go. That's all. That's all you need.
One big crack, motherfucker. Come on, give me $50 worth, motherfucker.
It's like you get to the store. It's like, but it's closed, and you hear, "Get the fuck out!"
You don't give a shit.
It's like, why are you closed? It's like barely 2. We don't get the fuck out.
Oh man.
But Twitter. I'm on Twitter mainly. The Drew Yari Show. Most of you know where to find me. I'm on Instagram. That's not really a show thing. It's more of a personal thing. And then I have a Facebook page. I'm not really on there that much. And the show, you can find it anywhere that podcasts are distributed. And This show usually goes up Friday morning. I might just put it up a little early for you. I got time, so. But and then of course the Patreon, and $5 a month, people. Just $5 a month, and your mom will be safe, or she won't. You never know. But anyways, guys, take care. Have a good week. Oh yeah, I was going to ask you something, Justin. So this Saturday we're going to do the Q&A.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to move the Q&A to Sunday?
I don't have an issue. Well, let me think. Am I doing anything Sunday? Well, I mean, because I work till 6, so it'll be after that, right?
Right. It'd be at the same time, though. It'd just be for that day.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, you heard it here first, guys. This Saturday's Q&A will be moved to Sunday, just temporary. But anyways, guys, we will see you this Sunday, and we'll see you next week. So take care, guys. Have a good week. Have a good night, and peace.
Peace.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.